1997, the dawn of a new era in Australian V8 touring car racing. Tougher, meaner and more competitive than ever. Exclusive to Network 10, the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship lit the wick for one of the finest tin-top seasons ever. Nose-to-tail, bone-jarring action. In 1997, the School of Hard Knocks got a whole lot tougher, where a split second meant the difference between victory and defeat. We witnessed a thrilling three-way championship battle. Going right down to the wire, Glenn Seaton smoked the opposition to take his second Shell Series crown in fine style. 1997, a season where the performance gap between the pros and the privateers continued to narrow, when new cars, new names and new faces began to emerge as future V8 Supercar stars. A season where experience and superior engineering gave Larry Perkins and Russell Ingall the winning edge at the Primus 1000. And after 30 years at the top, one of our greatest champions took his final emotional curtain call. Yes, it was quite a year, and if you thought it couldn't get any better, you ain't seen nothing yet. So buckle up, V8 fans. The 600 horsepower V8 Supercars are back. Bigger, better, and stronger than ever, as Network 10 welcomes you to Sandown International Raceway. Round 1 of the 1998 Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. This is war.
Well, there has been a lot of changes in the off-season, plenty of changes in fact. Let's take a look at those now.
In 1998, V8 Supercar has undergone its own Formula One style silly season, with plenty of driver changes and a big injection of new blood keen to fill the void. It's all change at the mobile Holden racing team. Brock's retirement and the rapid Kiwi Greg Murphy resigned to the reserves bench has made way for the blistering speed of Mark Scaife, who teams up with Craig Lowndes, returning from a disappointing year overseas.
Yeah, there's probably a dozen guys that can win the races. Probably the hardest guy to beat will be Craig Lowndes.
Our preparation in testing has been going very well. We're going to do a little bit more before the first race, so you know, hopefully the cars are going to be right up to speed with everyone else.
Gibson Motorsport has had something of a rebirth in the form of young guns Darren Hossack and Darren Pate in a pair of Wins Commodores.
Well, it's my first season as a rookie, so I'll be taking it easy in the first few rounds, but towards the end I won't be happy with a top 10 finish. I want to be in the top 5, so hopefully I can produce that.
Yeah, well, the guys have been working hard over the break preparing the cars, and both Darren Pate and myself have been training hard over Christmas, and we'll continue to keep training right through the season.
The wily Gibson will also ease HRT's overload, contracted to run the factory team's official Young Lions entry for rising star Stephen Ellery.
Well, the preparations are going great. We've had the car out on the track a couple of times and it's going excellent, so I'm really looking forward to the new year.
After blotting his copybook at Bathurst, former Young Lions star Jason Bargwanna has been given another crack at the big time. Gary Rogers Motorsport has expanded to a two-car operation, with Bargwanna joining long-time Rogers team protege Stephen Richards.
We've been out doing some testing and our Holden Commodore's working fantastic, so we're all fired up, ready to go.
I think it's going to be tough. I think these guys out there racing are pretty hard. I think, you know, I think the Valvoline Cummins race team this year can actually pull off a couple of good results, but I'm going to be out there trying to win races and hopefully in the end of the championship be right at the pointy end.
There's also been some seat shuffling in Queensland's Blue Oval Brigade. Reigning Gold Star champion Jason Bright takes over AJ's drive in the Pertec Falcon, teaming up with Mark Larkham in his increasingly competitive Mitre 10 Ford.
I'm confident we can set up a few surprises for the regulars this year. We've got a good new car here, great sponsor, great team.
In addition to the swelling numbers of professional Level 1 entries, the privateers will also enjoy stronger support. This year, teams competing for the prestigious Privateers Cup must use a special Yokohama control tyre, which will not only save thousands of dollars, but also provide a level playing field for all. It should be quite a contest.
Not too hard on the tyres in terms of wear. Let's have a look at the Shell Helix grid. John Bowe, for the 23rd time in his career, starts from pole from Skate. Lowndes and Russell Ingall, they share 3 and 4.
What a field. Glenn Seaton and Jason Bright, the 2 Fords on 5 and 6. Jason Bargwanna and Dick Johnson out of 7 and 8.
We then go back to position 9. Paul Romano, great job there. Tony Longhurst out of 10. Larkham 11 and Stephen Richards 12.
13, John Faulkner with Larry Perkins, not too good for Larry. Steve Ellery and Mark Poole out of 16.
We then go back position 17, Terry Finnegan, Trevor Ashby, Darren Tate and Darren Hossack, the 2 Wins boys.
And they just keep coming. Greg Crick, John Briggs, Ray Hislop and Paul Wheel out of 24.
Position 25, Danny Osborne alongside Chris Smurden, Mal Rose and Gary Wilmington.
They're just about to blast off in round 1, race 1. Of the 1998 Shell Australian Touring Car Championship, and away they go.
And the first corner here is going to be...
Look at
Scapey, look, JB.
John Bowe was trying to go up the inside.
Yes,
He's got him back too.
Whoa, nice one.
Very aggressive run from Bowe up the inside. Let's see if this field can get through reasonably cleanly. But there was a real elbow barge there between John Bowe and Mark Scaife. Bowe coming out the victor this time around. He'll in this big field up the back straight for the first time.
Russell Ingall got in there as well. He's jumped from 4th up into 3rd. He was looking for a good start and he got it. So Lowndes is back in 4th now ahead of Seaton. Then we go back to Jason Bright and Dick Johnson's jumped up a couple of positions as well.
It's going to be really interesting with the HRT team because you can imagine they want to get points early on in the series, well, all the way through the series. So I wouldn't mind betting now that Skate's in front, that there must be some kind of little order to say, look, don't knock each other off, let's get some points.
Here's the view from the rear of the number 50. Mobile HRT Commodore Mark Scaife. There's Russell Ingall further back. He's fighting off a challenge from Craig Lowndes. Lowndes tries to pull out of the draft.
Now, he has to be really careful now, Ingall, because I was in the drive.
He's off!
He's off! Straight on! He's done it, Larry.
Oh, exactly like his teammate last year.
Yeah.
It had been hot. Looked like he was running offline a bit, and Craig Lowndes has taken advantage. Back with the battle at the front, Mark Scaife in 5-0. Mobile Holden Racing Team Commodore continues to attack the back of John Bowe. But Bowe doing a great job here. 1:13.21 last time around to 1:13.01. Scaife putting in some quick laps, but not able to close the gap to Bowe. And we've seen Bowe tremendous under this pressure situation. Now look on the left of your screen there. That box is Mark Scaife's feet. And if you want to see some guy do some frantic pedaling, just watch this.
Hard at work through Primus corner. Coming up to Repco, it's a hard left-hander, then they open it up the back straight. Scaife is getting closer to John Bowe, but as we know, he's a very difficult man to get past. You can catch JB. It's another thing getting past him. Let's have a look at the comparisons of speed up the back straight here. Coming up on...
Oh, nice one. Good move.
Squeezing through. There's also another good battle with another Mobile HRT car. That is Craig Lowndes further back, and he's got through. He has on Seaton. Just saw it top of the screen there. So good work by Lowndes as this battle up. He's got it.
Gotcha.
Oh, just up the inside. He went for the replay. It's all happening at Sandown. Shell Helix replay will take you with Seaton.
Oh, no! Well, that was Mark having a look up the inside there, and as I said earlier on in the drivers' meeting, they made sure that you're not passed until, well, you're not even considered to be passed until you're at least halfway past the car. So we didn't get to see the last little bit, but I guess JB thought, well, you ain't halfway past, so I'm turning in.
It's all happening last lap. Scaife really made a big move there, but it hasn't come off for him. Now he's behind one of the Valvoline Cummins cars, the Gary Rogers cars. It's either Richards or Bargwanna.
Oh, goodness.
Hard to tell from the back. Here's the replay of the Mark Scaife John Bowe incident. This is from inside his car.
Okay, now watch this. Up the inside, JB turns her in.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, I guess it was kind of halfway. It was up to halfway past, but JB had to turn into the corner, and that was really no one's fault. Scaife was taking the most of an opportunity, and unfortunately, he came off worse.
Got going there very quickly indeed.
Holds his ground, and look at the battle damage on that passenger door.
Well, it's just lucky that it hasn't gone in on the wheel arch, hasn't gone in on the tyre, because it could have been sort of curtains for JB then.
Well, here it is, race 1, round 1 of season 98. It goes to the Shell Helix Falcon of John Bowe, in for a great win. Congratulations to JB. Craig Lowndes came right up on him to pick up second position, and a really good run there for Glenn Seaton in for third. Looked like Stephen Richards picked up fourth. That's a great effort by him, but well, Biff and Barge, Longhurst going through for a good top 10 finish. It all happened there in race 1.
Oh, that's great for JB. Must be the oil.
John Bower will start from the #1 position. These are the starting positions and results of race 1. Lowndes from 2, Seaton from 3, and Stephen Richards a great result from 4.
Out of 5, Larry Perkins, Jason Bargwanna, the second of the Valvoline Holdens, Mark Scaife after that little incident, and Tony Longhurst out of 8.
Back to position 9, fantastic for Paul Romano and Jason Bright, who incidentally set a new lap record in his first race. Green flag at the back now. Watch Bower, he got away to a good start. Lowndes is alongside. We'll wait for this one. Lowndes will be looking to get a dynamite start. Green light, we're away. Seaton gets off sideways. It looked like Lowndes has got the start. Indeed he has. So the motor That's Faulkner's in that one. John Faulkner has been hit. There's been a big collision. Jason Bargwanna is in it as well.
Oh, that's stopped for sure.
Wow.
Boy, that is a major.
And can you believe it? Paul Romano, it's a red flag situation. That's Donahue's car. That's not in good shape at all. Let's have a look at, we've got, I'm sure we'll have plenty of replays. Here it is from one angle. And you see,
look, you see over on the right-hand side, it looks like Faulkner.
Yeah.
You can't say who started. Maybe Faulkner got a punt up the backside, and that's Stephen Ellery there, right here with the Konica car.
Look at the front of Greg Crick's Commodore.
And this is the real danger, because the guys off the back are full throttle charging up toward this block track.
And you just can't see anything.
Yeah. So Faulkner it was who maybe turned around in the middle of that pack, and that absolute mayhem ensued.
And the carnage report is Faulkner, Ellery, Bargwanna, Wilmington, Crick and Bright are out. Meanwhile, we get ready for a restart. Now, Lowndes got the jump last time. Let's see what's going to happen this time. Red light, watch for the green. Away we go again. Will Bower get the start, or does Lowndes do it again? It's Lowndesy. Bower on the inside. Seaton got away to a good start as well. Bower's dropped back to third. They all get away cleanly this time and through Shell Mastercard turn.
You can see Lowndes muscling across there. He wanted the ideal line into turn 1 Shell Mastercard turn. He did that very effectively, and he's opened up 2 or 3 car lengths and really attacking this Sandown International Raceway. Gets 2 wheels up in the air through the tight and twisty Primus Curve complex up to Repco Corner and down the back straight for the first time.
Good start by Craig Lowndes. Seaton up into second already. That's great. Have a look at Stephen Richards. He's up there into fourth. Scaife a little further back. They work their way through. Mark Larkham's luck must have changed. He avoided all of that damage, so maybe it has. He's still out there as well.
Well, it's nice. Funny enough, I was talking to Mark. He started wearing a St Christopher that somebody gave him, and ever since he's worn this St Christopher, he hasn't had bad luck. So
like
it works for him. That's fine.
Like Alan Jones' red underpants. We've just been told this race reduced to 15 laps.
Oh, no! Again!
Romano.
I don't believe it.
Oh, Carnage Central. I think you're right, Lee Debbie. This is unbelievable.
I think I wouldn't be at all surprised if that stopped. You see the debris on the circuit there.
Well,
and,
I think there's someone else on the other side too, Barry.
Race director Tim Schenken will be hoping he can keep this race going. We haven't seen a red flag at the start line yet, but messages will be crossing frantically between various flag positions. Meanwhile, the race continues.
Scaife having a go there to get past Low and up the inside.
Craig Lowndes, he's a man on a mission, isn't he? And look at this, side by side. Seaton up the inside of John Bower. They'll go side by side into Repco Corner up the back straight. A big drag race going to happen here. We've got a replay of that incident down at Dandenong Road. Boy, oh boy, it's all happening at Sandown in Heat 2, Round 1 of the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. This battle continues.
Paul Romano escaped in that first one. Meanwhile, we have a look at the 2 Ford campaigners. Bow around the outside, so he takes back second spot from Glenn Seaton. Have a look at Stephen Richards behind Seaton as well. Here's the Shell Helix replay. The previous lap, Scaife dives on the inside of Perkins. We go to the replay now. Now there's Romano, and Longhurst is involved. Bang. That's the car that I thought was on the other side. So Romano escaped first time round, but he hasn't this time.
Romano, Dick Johnson, Tony Longhurst all tangled up in there. Look at the damage. Let's go inside.
On board with Dick.
Dick Johnson now. He's right up behind Longhurst. It looks like Romano's got out on the curbs. Longhurst has taken avoiding action. Crutch. And all 3 of them caught up in there.
It did look like there was a bit of contact between Dick and...
Let's have a look at this from our chopper, and you can see,
Looks like Romano just got up high on the ripple strip, got out of shape, and was trying to gather it up.
Everyone's taken avoiding action, and it's just unfortunately ended in a bit of damage.
Hard luck there for those two guys. Meanwhile, John Bow, the Shell Helix Falcon number 18, continues. There's a fantastic battle for the minor placings. Plenty of action, Murph.
Good battle going on here between these guys. I mean, they've got a lot to fight for out there, and you know, it's good to see so many new cars, new drivers out there doing the job, and there's a great battle going on.
Just give you a bit of an update on the Ingle affair in the first race. Russell got penalised because he had it coming together with Jason Bright and spun him round. And I spoke to Russell Ingle, and he said that he was having really bad brake problems. He was getting pad knock-off, which for people that don't know just means the pads come away from the disc because either say a buckled disc or some vibration. Finnegan doing a
take the shortcut.
That's the same as Russell Ingle did.
Dick Johnson up there.
DJ.
So he's on his way back.
Yeah, so Russell Ingle was having brake problems, and you could believe that because Russell Ingle did exactly the same as...
But it's not like Russell to back off if he's got a problem, is it?
No, I know.
Mark doing very well. We've just got an update on the photographer from the Herald Sun. The Ambos don't think his leg's broken now, which is great. And he's in good spirits, so well, let's hope that he's feeling a little bit better. Coming up on Melinda Price, the Castrol Cougars entry there, the race leader, Mobile HRT Commodore of Craig Lowndes, making a welcome return to Australian V8 Supercar racing. He's looking to make it another dynamic year. He hasn't been quiet about his plans to get back overseas. That is his aim. Coming across the line, Lowndes wins race 2 here in the opening round of the championship. He'll be happy with that. A fantastic start, and has carried it all the way to the line. Time to check the grid for the next race as they line up and get themselves sorted out. Well, over the weekend, the track and the action has taken its toll. We started with 33 cars on Friday. We're now down to 23 cars, so quite a few. We've lost 10. And this is the grid, the Shell Helix grid for the third and final race. And of course, these are the results of race 2. Lowndes up the front there. Then we go back, Perkins, Scape, Larkham and Poole. All the way back, Dick Johnson will start from 9, Ashby, Steve Richards and Darren Hossack. A great job by young Darren because he started from last position in that second race to come up and finish 12th. So well done to the wins driver, young Darren Hossack. Green flag at the back. We know it's only seconds away. Will Lowndes get another blinder or can Bow get the jump on him? It's an even point score after 2. Red lights are on. We get ready, green. Here we go. Who got off the line the best? Seaton got away to a reasonably good start. He split the pack. Seaton and Lowndes it is, heading into Shell MasterCard corner. Lowndes has got the inside run and will hang on to it. Contact there. Seaton drifts wide.
Ingle up the inside. Oh, he's got enough room.
It is.
Oh, look, Mark Scape, I think it is, up on the grass there. He's really getting into the elbow action back in the pack. That's lost him a heap of positions. So his teammate, Craig Lowndes, leads him back. Through Repco corner up Holton Hill for the first time.
Somebody got mixed up in a whole heap of stuff. I saw that was Stephen Ellery, some smoke coming from his car. Perhaps we go on board with Mark Scape, passing Terry Finnegan in the Sony Auto Sound Commodore. This is up the back part of the circuit, reaching speeds of upwards of 260 kilometres per hour. The opening lap of 16, the third and final race for today.
Well, Mark Scape's got a big job in front of him. He damaged his steering rack, in fact, in that second heat. That was slow. Oh, here's Jason Bright.
A big hello and welcome to the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship for Brighty. He set the lap record in the first race and has had nothing but trouble in the next 2.
Yeah, just an example of the damage, the biff and barge in this opening round of the 98 Championship. Boy, it's a hot day here. It's over 30 degrees and the action is just as hot on the track. Craig Lowndes managing to stay out of all that damage as the field sorts itself out down the straight for the first time, and a big cheer for the local boy, Craig Lowndes, who comes home and is leading the field.
A couple of the guys running around, John Briggs and Ray Hislop.
It's currently the battle for 14th and 15th position, and just coming up behind Chris Spurton, who's running 13th. So it's actually the battle for 13th, 14th and 15th. Just an example of the depth as you start working through the level 2 and level 3 privateer teams. Just how many battles are going up and down this huge field. 2 laps remaining for these guys.
Our race leader, and this is going to be a very popular victory. He set the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship scene and the V8 scene alight in 1996 when he picked up the big 3. Sandown the championship in Bathurst. He's got his round win here. Craig Lowndes, the crowd are going wild. The Victorian wins it, takes out round 1. The 1998 Shell Series. Congratulations to Lowndes. Ingle in for a good second spot and a very consistent day for Glenn Seaton as he cruises round in 3rd. Well, I guess people were saying it was going to be hard to follow up last season, but I think this season could definitely be better. Obviously, from that great win, Lowndes leads the table, the points table that is, after the first round. Bow in second, the defending champ Seaton in third. The Castrol Commodores well represented, Perkins and Ingle in there. And then we go back to Mark Scape in sixth. Richards, Johnson, Larkham, Longhurst, Poole. A good showing by Mark Poole today. And Stephen Ellery, they round out the top 12.
Now here we are a year later. Mark sitting on pole position in what is arguably the best touring car seat in the country. Mark Scafe, boy, that is a real turnaround in a year, and it must be great sitting on pole position.
Well, look, it certainly is, Mark. I mean, I'm probably enjoying it more than I've ever enjoyed it, and obviously the car's very competitive. We were competitive at the end of last year, and let's hope it rolls on.
Why is pole position so important here? All the drivers say pole is really critical at Symmons Plains. Why is that?
Well, the proximity of the grid to the first corner obviously is not very far, so and being on the inside of the road is a big advantage to stay out of trouble. So I would have said Symmons Plains pole position is probably the most important of the year.
The Shell Helix grid, Mark Scafe starts from pole, the first time since 1994. His old mate and sparring partner Glenn Seaton alongside. The youngster Jason Bright in the Pertec Falcon starts from 3, alongside 96 champ Craig Lowndes.
Yeah, what a quality field. John Bow, the local man, Russell Ingle in the Castrol Commodore alongside JB, Stephen Richards in the Valvoline Cummins Commodore, and Dick Johnson in the second of the Shell Fords.
Plenty of youth in this top 10. Paul Romano and Jason Barguana. 11 and 12, Larry Perkins and Mark Larkham.
The old rev limiter's working overtime.
Now we're getting ready. Away we go. Scafe doesn't get away to the best start.
Oh, look at Scafe.
Glenn Seaton got the jump. It's Lowndes up the outside. There's contact there between the two. Cito goes across the ripple strip. Johnson's on the inside there as well. He gets around. It was Bow on the inside. Bright is off.
Goodness me, if you thought they were going to take it easy after that Sandown incident, forget it, boys. These guys are playing hard ball. Look at that first turn. Trouble.
One of the dides.
See the Dick Johnson or John Bow, one of the Shell Fords. You can see that the pack is backing up big time. They're trying to pick their way around that spun car. Goodness me, it's all happening in the first 400 metres of the race. We're watching the start line officials. No sign of a red flag there, so maybe they can clear that melee before they come around the next time.
They're going to keep it going. We couldn't quite pick up who it was, whether it was JB or Dick Johnson, but the rest of the field files on through onto the Pepsi back straight. We get back up to the leaders. Mark Scafe has regrouped. He's back up into second. Then we go back to Russell Ingle in fourth, but it's Glenn Seaton who leads the way. It was Bow who spun.
Oh, wow.
So Glenn Seaton under fire from Mark Scafe. Did a great recovery as they came down toward the hairpin that time to shuffle in front of his teammate. So it's a Holden Racing team, 2 and 3 behind the Ford Credit Falcon of Glenn Seaton. They sweep under the bridge and down toward the hairpin for the second time. And
contact.
You can see he was getting very, very close. Larry in the Castrol Commodore right up behind the Pertec Falcon.
And look at Paul Romano just hanging in there. He's sitting in 9th position at the moment, still running with no sponsor on that car. And let's hope that someone can come forward and give this young guy a bit of a hand, because he's proven many, many times that he's very quick. When he puts it all together, he can drive very well.
Yeah, when you consider the budget he's working with, or not work, the budget he doesn't have to work with, I think he's doing a fantastic job.
So brakes hard for the final time for the hairpin. Lowndes gets real close, breathing heavy down the neck of his teammate. Gets a good run out of that corner too. He's getting up alongside car 5-0, but not close enough. Scafe gets the hammer down. They're going to go almost side by side with the sweeper. Look at Lowndes, one last desperate try up the inside.
I don't think so.
Too much traffic.
We've got a lot of traffic down at Pepsi turn. So Lowndes backs back, gives a bit of racing room. He sneaks up the inside of Paul Wheels, Tradelink Falcon. There's our race leader and race winner.
Well done, Glenn Seaton. The Ford Credit Falcon takes out the opening race of round 2 here at Symmons Plains, followed by the HRT duo. The 2 Mobile Commodores come in for 2nd and 3rd. But well done, Glenn Seaton. That's his first win here at Symmons Plains, first race win since 1992. We're gearing up. The guys are weaving from side to side, warming up the tyres. Let's take a look at the grid for race 2. There's the man who cleaned up in race 1, Glenn Seaton, and of course he will start from that number 1 position alongside Mark Scafe. Craig Lowndes and Russell Ingle, they share row 2.
Yeah, Jason Barguana moves up the order too with Dick Johnson. Jason Bright moving his way toward the front as well, and Larry Perkins in the Castrol Commodore.
Back to position 9, Paul Romano. Well done, young Paul. That was a great drive in race 1 ahead of top privateer Greg Crick. Longhurst and Reed, they share 11 and 12. 16 cars here last year, 27 here today. the Simmons Plains Raceway, and we're just a few moments away from the start. There's the green flag at the back. Now this is the exciting time. See who gets the jump. Seaton got it in race 1. Let's see how Mark Scaife goes. Red light is on. Green light, away we go. Scaife got away with the
look at it. Look at that, Lowndes.
Craig Lowndes will lead them into the first turn, and Russell Ingles second. Then we go back to Scaife, and it was Jason Bargwanna who got up there as well.
Oh, look at them trying to shovel that pack through turn 1, but what an unbelievable slingshot start from Craig Lowndes. You see, and Scaife as both sides of the slingshot, and he went for it. What a great start.
It was amazing. There was no contact there. Quite incredible.
Very good. Lowndes takes them out of the hairpin ahead of Russell Ingall. Then we go back to Mark Scaife, the second of the HRT cars. We pick up Bargwanna. He did well off the start. Seaton, then Dick Johnson. Jason Bright was in there. There's Steve Reed. The field comes cropping on through.
On the outside, Ingall has a real look, letting Craig Lowndes know that he's serious about getting past up the outside, under brakes through the hairpin. He'll switch back to the inside, and we've got another drag race in our hands as they fire out of the hairpin up the back straight once more.
Expect something from Russell Ingall here. What do you reckon, Baz?
Yeah, absolutely no doubt. He's sitting in the slipstream, they go to the right-hand kink, and then, you know, maybe have a bit of a go at the inside, but it's not.
Oh, what was that? Looked like a bit of fibre, bit of fibre, carbon fibre, something.
Sometimes you just falter a little bit, you know, trying to get past somebody, and it gives the guy behind you just that extra. You watch here.
See Scaife getting sideways under power as he came under the bridge there. Shows how tough these tyres are working around here. Oh, gets right up alongside Ingall.
So you go in wide and come out tight.
And
try and get a run up. Yes.
Got a good move out of there. Good run by Mark Scaife. We go on board now. He pulls up alongside Russell Ingall. And Russell has a look over. Scaife says, here we go. Side by side through the sweeper. Ingall's not giving up either. Look at this.
Ingall's on the wrong side, though. That's the problem.
240 kilometres an hour side by side. Boy, oh boy, that'll get the adrenaline pumping, but Scaife was burnt by the position. Ingall's coming back on the inside, but Scaife covers his tracks again.
Good work there by both drivers. Mark Scaife now moves up in the second spot with just 2 laps remaining in this second race, and if he can hang on to this is going to be some pretty good points in the bag for HRT. Top privateer at the moment is Greg Crick. He's doing very well from Peter Dorman and Ryan McLeod. They're your top 3 at the moment. Here they come. They're on their way home. It's going to be an HRT 1-2. There's your race leader there, Craig Lowndes, just going through shot. The checkered flag is out here at Simmons, and the kid does it. Craig Lowndes takes out race 2 here at Simmons Plains. His teammate in the Mobile Holden Racing Team, Commodore Mark Scaife, will pick up second. A good run by Russell Ingall in for third, and so too for Jason Bargwanna. Time to take a look at the Shell Helix grid. This is how they line up for the third and final. The HRT front row, Lowndes and Scaife. Ingall and Bargwanna, they start from 2.
Out of the second, Jason Bright and Larry Perkins off the third row. That is John Bowe, who fought his way back from last position. Incredible fight back that to 7th, and Paul Romano in 8th.
We go back to the 9th position. Steve Richards, a good recovery from 17th. And Dick Johnson in 10. 11 is Larkham, and 12 is Crick, the top privateer. It's going to be a ripper. Will HRT get a clean sweep? Will they get a 1-2 finish for the 3rd year in a row? There they are, side by side. Mark Scaife in the foreground. Lowndes alongside. Will we see another rocket of a start from Lowndes? Back to England, Richard Bargwanna on the next row. Red, green, we go, and Lowndes goes. Look at that, like a bomb. So good as Ingall. Russell Ingall, the 2 guys that started like a rocket in the previous one, have done it again.
Well, those 2 guys must be joined by a rubber band or something. They're both making phenomenal starts. Scaife was really pumped up, making a good one in that 3rd one. He didn't quite get off the line, just as good as those other 2. Now he finds himself back in 3rd, once again with Ingall and Lowndes up ahead.
Here they come into the hairpin, hard on the brakes. Lowndes has already got a couple of car lengths over Russell Ingall. It's tight. Bargwanna's up there. So too is Larry Perkins. We go back to Romano, Johnson and Bowe, Bright, then Richards. Then we pick up, it looks like Peter Dorman. No, it's Greg Crick, top privateer.
Well, he certainly got those starts sorted out, Craig Lowndes. You might have seen in that start in Heat 2. People wonder how you can just leap off the line like that. If you don't get the revs matched right to the clutch, the engine can bog down. You've got to declutch and start again. And in that split second, the guy behind you's done better. He's going to rocket right past. That's exactly what happened in 2. And you can see there, Ingall and Lowndes repeated the treat in Heat 3.
Well, I tell you what, we haven't seen too much enforcing from Russell Ingall, have we? He's driven a couple of very good races. 3 very good races.
I just think that name enforcer is, I don't know where it came from.
It was you, Barry, wasn't it?
No, it was not.
We've got a big battle here, though.
Gotcha.
Seaton just around the outside of Johnson.
Johnson got him this time. Cover his territory under brakes, coming down into Pepsi turn. So he moves up another position. Seaton moves up to 7th. Johnson back to 8th.
Here is Scapey behind the wheel.
Just heard from the officials there's been a stop-go penalty for Mark Larkham, overtaking on the yellow, and Scape gets a really good run out of here. Now this will be interesting. This is a replay of Heat 2. They'll go side by side. Ingle goes with him. Doesn't look across this time. He wants to hang in there and hold him every way. Now a little bit more top end from the Castrol Commodore. They're 240 kilometres an hour. Can you get a cigarette paper between those two cars? Side by side under brakes.
He's got him.
Wow.
What a... Oh,
move up, Mark. Move up. Let me in. And he gets a 2.
How about that? Yes. The youngster just forced his way through.
Well, you talk about aggression. That was unbelievable stuff.
We go right up front to the Mobile HRT Commodore, and things have gone very well for these guys today. Craig Lowndes is bringing it home. Not quite as good as in 96 because he cleaned up 3 from 3 in that time, that particular round. He's got 2 from 3 if things remain as is for one more corner. He comes around. His teammate isn't too far behind. The checkered flag is out. Craig Lowndes takes out round 2 of the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. It is going to be a Mobile Holden Racing Team 1-2. The rest of the field coming round. Bright, Seaton. Here's Mark Scaife coming across the line ahead of Jason Bargwanna, and that was a tremendous race. Well, it was Lowndes last weekend, it was Lowndes this weekend, so obviously it's Lowndes at the top of the points table. His HRT teammate Mark Scaife sitting in 2nd there, Russell Ingall in 3rd, Seaton back to 4th, and Larry Perkins sitting there in 5th position. 6th, it's John Bowe and Dick Johnson, the 2 Shell cars there. Then the 2 Valvoline Commodores of Stephen Richards and Jason Bargwanna, and Jason Bright rounding out the top 10.
Well, the heat's really on at Lakeside Raceway this weekend. 2 days of blistering hot temperatures for qualifying and practice. And now John Bowe, you're sitting on pole position. The weatherman tells me today is going to be even hotter. Boy, it must be hot out there.
Well, it's hot just standing here, so you can't imagine what it's like in the car, like 60 degrees C. And that's really, as far as I'm concerned, being a Tasmanian, that's a bit too hot.
As we check the grid, and for the 3rd time in 2 years in a row, John Bowe starts from pole alongside his teammate Dick Johnson, and it's great to see Dick up there. Tony Longhurst, a great qualifying effort by him. He shares the 2nd row with Jason Bright.
Out of row 3, Russell Ingall and Larry Perkins, the Castrol duo, and the Commodores John Faulkner and Mark Larkham in the Mitre 10 Ford out of line 4.
We then go back to Glenn Seaton and Craig Lowndes. Unusual to see those guys back there. Paul Romano put in a blitz and he got up to 11th ahead of Mark Scaife. We get ready, the green flag is at the back. This is the 3rd round, the opening race of the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship from Lakeside in Queensland. We're set to go. We are away. Who gets the good jump? Longhurst got away all right, but it's John Bowe who got the jump. Ingall tried to force the way up the outside. They all get away cleanly for the moment.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Jason Bright's on the outside there, and yes, he manages to get through.
Looked like it was Dick Johnson who got the jump there as they come through the carousel. So it is Dickie. The local crowd are going to go crazy.
Oh boy, he's pumped up, isn't he? Oh, a bit of a contact there of the Wins Commodores. Just getting back onto the line as they sweep through here under the Dunlop Bridge for this very fast part of the track, 220 kilometres an hour as they break hard for Hungry Corner. So it's the Shell duo, Dick Johnson in the brand new Shell 17 Ford making its debut this weekend at Lakeside. John Bowe, the pole man in behind him, and Tony Longhurst in the Castrol Ford.
Well, it has been a long, long time between drinks since we've seen Dick at the front of this V8 Supercar field. He started from pole here back in 95, and he would be loving this. The new car is worth everything they've paid for it. Have a look at it go. There's a replay of Glenn Seaton going off, spinning at Hungry Corner. Now contact between he and Paul Romano. They spin in unison there, and Ellery avoids them, so too does Jones and Finnegan. Well done by those 3 guys. Bad luck for Glenn Seaton. He didn't qualify well, and his nightmare continues. Now here's John Briggs going sideways. That looks like heading up into the Eastern Loop. So he's spinning, and Crick goes through, Ellery goes through. So Ellery avoided 2 incidents in 2 corners.
Effort, that is.
Wow.
I'll tell you what's happening though. The gap you've got to watch is Russell Ingall. He's in 3rd position. He's brought it down to 2.6 seconds. The gap between him and the Shell duo leading the race. So Ingall on an absolute charge. A 51.68 last time around. He's clipped a few tenths out of the Shell team, so he could be right on the back. Hang on, we're going in trouble here.
Castrol car. Karen Brewer. By the looks of it, could be. Yes, it's Karen Brewer. That Mark talking about that time of Russell Ingles, he's just 0.2 of a second off Glenn Seaton's existing lap record. So that's how quick Russell Ingles is going at the moment. Brewer gets back on the track just in front of AJ.
Oh, AJ won't be pleased about that.
We get back to it. Here is the battle between Tony Longhurst and Jason Bright, the two Queensland Ford drivers. This is the battle for 5th and 6th at the moment.
Okay, it's just over a second between Russell Ingles and John Bowe.
That's on board with DJ now.
Dick Johnson now is hitting this traffic, goes up the inside of the Wings Commodore. Try and pick his way through quickly here. This car's travelling in excess of 200 kilometres an hour through this very narrow part of the track. Danny Osborne in the colour scan Falcon gives him racing room. Johnson down the outside. Bowe goes with him. Up through Hungry Corner, they've got the trademark Falcon of Paul Wheel ahead of them. And now Russell Ingles going to have to contend with this too. This could be a critical move in the race.
Well, here's an interesting duo, probably the least experienced and the most experienced together. Paul Wheel, just 18 years of age, you need to get out of the way for. He's coming on.
Danny Osborne spun, trying to keep away, but didn't know where that trade link forward was going. Goodness me, now Johnson.
It's touched.
Johnson, you can see there where he made contact with the Falcon.
So Bowe's now in front with 3 laps to go. Dick Johnson, the damage on the front left of the Shell Helix Ford there, and that has allowed Russell Ingles to catch right up. So we've got a 3-car race right now. Ingles going to do everything in his power to try and get past one last lap.
Actually, just looking at that slight bit of damage on the front of Bowe's car, it could have been Bowe who hit Johnson up the back because he was so close behind him when Dick hit Paul Wheel. There you can see that little battle damage on Bowe's car. So they've regathered themselves after that incident. Fortunately, only with light damage, could have been disastrous. Russell Ingles really close now behind Johnson. Last time up through the Eastern Loop.
Coming up on Rod Nash there, one of the newcomers to the V8 Supercar ranks. He gets right out of the way really quickly. They come down off the Eastern Loop for the final time. It is going to be a Shell Ford 1-2. Congratulations to that team. John Bowe, who won the round here last year, starts today in great fashion. Ingles pulls out of the slipstream, but he won't get there. Now let's have a look at the grid, how they line up, and keep in mind, this is the finishing positions from the opening race. It's a Shell 1-2 yet again. John Bowe and Dick Johnson from the opening row. Russell Ingles and Larry Perkins 3 and 4.
Out of the second row, Tony Longhurst and Craig Lowndes moving up the order. Big charge from the HRT driver. Jason Bright and John Faulkner will start out of 7 and 8.
We go back to 9 and 10. Alan Jones, well done. He worked his way up from 15th to 9th in the new Komatsu Falcon. Jason Barguana from 10. Finnegan and Steve Ellery 11 and 12. Watch to the back of the grid. Wait for that green flag to come up. There it is. All right, get ready. 29 V8 set to do it all again. Race 2 of 3. Round 3 of the Australian Touring Car Championship set to go. Let's do it again. Keep your eyes on Ingles. Away we go. He gets away to a great start. Tries to nudge through there. He comes in contact with Larry. Whoa, some action there. Through the keep they go. But it's the 2 Shell cars that lead them through yet again.
Well, it's amazing. Look at that incident in the first heat when John Bowe went right in behind Dick Johnson. This is the day with the teammates having a bit of a collision with each other. But they've sorted themselves out. And Craig Lowndes, a sensational start. I think he's up to 3rd position as they came out of the carousel. And Mark Larkham looks like in trouble on the inside there too.
Great work there by Craig Lowndes to work his way up from 6th. Now there's problems at the back. Larkham that was. Now Bright and Jones, they're hassling each other. Ingles through on the inside. It's Dick Johnson who leads the way. Let's hope he can keep it together this time. Back to Bowe, Ingles, then Lowndes. So Ingles got through on Lowndes. Back to Larry Perkins is the next one through. Behind Larry, it's Longhurst, then Faulkner. The Shell Helix in-car camera. We ride with Dick Johnson, your race leader at the moment, the man who, as we heard John Bowe say, really should have taken out the opening race, but got caught up in an unfortunate situation. Quick shot there. Russell Ingles is catching big time. Here comes the enforcer.
He's closing the gap big time. Now look at that. He's just been chomping away. A few tenths of a second per lap. Now he's right up behind Dick Johnson. We've got a real battle on our hands.
Oh, Seaton, look at that. Boy, he's...
Yeah, he's taken for a ride across the country and has snapped off that front spoiler.
You'd have to say that Lakeside isn't very lucky for Glenn, is it?
Well, last year it was a complete nightmare. He won the first race. Here comes Russell Ingles, the outside on Dick Johnson. 250 kilometres per hour, and around the outside goes Ingles. How about that? Gives him the inside run for the carousel. We've got a new race leader.
Ah, dear, oh dear. He's going to pay the price for that. Dick Johnson would not like being beaten on his home turf. He's going to come back. And Russell Ingles, so much speed from this car.
How about the guts to go around the outside through the gig?
The crowd are going absolutely nuts. Side by side, 250 kilometres an hour through the sweeper. Russell Ingall knows no fear. Johnson tried to hold him out right up on the ripple strips, but Ingall was beautifully positioned for the right-hand sweep into the carousel.
Well, 9 years ago was the first time Russell Ingall raced at Lakeside in a Formula Ford. Now he's here in a V8 Supercar, and the hand is out the window. He is very happy. Ingall takes out race 2. Dick Johnson gets there for second spot in the Shell Helix Ford. Russell Ingall is very happy. All right, let's have a look at the Shell Helix grid, and these are the positions, obviously the finishing positions from race 2. Ingall and Johnson from row 1, Perkins and Lowndes, row 2.
Tony Longhurst moving up, Jason Bright alongside him, Alan Jones, he's on a real charge today, Stephen Richards out of 8.
We go back to position 9, well done Mark Skaife from 19th to 9th, Steve Ellery a good top 10, Finnegan and Romano. All right, we are set. There is the man who has not won an Australian touring car round since 1990. He has to finish in front of Russell Ingall today to do it, but Ingall starts from the number 1 position. We wait to see the green flag from the back. There it is. Get set for action time. Race 3, round 3. Can Ingall get the jump and clear out, or can Dick Johnson get the jump and create another exciting race? Away we go. It's Ingall who gets away to the best start. Johnson on the inside. Perkins coming up. Lowndes has got the inside run on him.
Great start as they head down into the carousel for the first time. The Castrol Commodore takes over the lead. Johnson tucks back into second position. Lowndes has another attack on the outside of Perkins. Big field sweeping through and right toward the back of this pack. You should see John Bowe in Shell 18. He had a clutch problem in that second heat. That's why he jumped the start, and that's why he pulled out of the race. So he's got another major job to do coming back from the back of the field.
Alan Jones well positioned in there as the whole field comes on through. Keep your eyes out. There's Bowe with the lights on. Glenn Seaton is a long way back also. He's had some terrible luck here today at Lakeside, but it's Russell Ingall who leads the way in the Castrol Commodore from Dick Johnson, who's right on his hammer. Then we pick up Perkins, and then Craig Lowndes was the next one through, and Jason Bright.
So Russell Ingall continues to command this race. It's almost a second over Dick Johnson now. Still putting in the fastest laps too, a 51.56 for Ingall. That's faster than anyone on the track, so he's got a great setup on that Castrol Commodore.
Hey, he's getting closer, Mark, because the last 2 races he's been within 0.2 of a second of lap record. He is 1/10 of a second off the lap record. Can Ingall do it as we wind along? It's lap 7 of 23, plenty of time left for him to do it.
He's never, I was talking to him after heat 2. Skaife's absolutely dripping with perspiration. He said, I've never worked so hard for so little result.
And I'll tell you what, he's very fit at the moment too.
He's got to keep grinding away though, because even you've got to try and turn lemons into lemonade.
Seaton
again.
Oh, what a day Glenn's had. I mean, that's definitely one to forget.
Oh, what if he kept it? Oh, I know he didn't. Yes. He nudged the Armco.
It definitely is a lousy Lakeside meeting for poor old Glenn. We get back, this battle continues on. Romano and Bowe. And young Paul Romano is not giving up. Here in front of his home crowd, the youngster from Springwood in Queensland.
Top place privateer at the moment is Trevor Ashby in the Lansvale Smash Repairs car. They've had a torrid time this week. Big crash on Friday, fighting their way back. Oh, come on, come on. Oh, now Bowe.
Yes.
Saw his opportunity. I'll just muscle my way through. It's the only way I'm going to get past this.
Oh! Now, I tell you, he hit those curves. They are so big.
Yeah, I'll be amazed if he hasn't done a damage or punctured the tyre. Just see how hard that right rear corner hit. Lights ablaze, Russell Ingall, last time through Hungry Corner, up toward the Eastern Loop for the final time. And he will take great joy from this victory. Very trying conditions over the last 3 days, blistering hot temperatures. And he's able to bring it home and repeat the form he showed here last year.
Well, as I said earlier, just the 1 win here last year. 2 wins from this round this year. Congratulations to Castrol Commodore driver Russell Ingall to hand out the window again. A repeat of race 2. And he will be delighted. He will take out the round here as well. And hasn't it made an impact in terms of the championship points? As we heard him just say, Russell Ingall is now up into second place. Craig Lowndes still leads the way and has quite a handy little bumper. Larry Perkins moves into the top 3, so the Castrol team very well placed. Dick Johnson rockets up into the top 4, and Mark Skaife has gone, unfortunately for him, from second back to 5th. We have a look 6 back through 10. John Bowe is there in 6th. Stephen Richards moves up into 7th. That's a good day for Stevie. Seaton in 8th. Jason Bright has moved up 1 position, and Tony Longhurst sitting back there in 10th position. Well, it certainly is the longest and the fastest circuit on the V8 calendar, as we said earlier, and it's going to provide some fantastic entertainment today. Let's have a look at this record-breaking field. It is the biggest field, the biggest V8 Supercar field in Shell Australian touring car history. Lowndes and Seaton from the front row. Scaife and Bright start from row 2.
Now look at these positions. You might notice on the right of your screen the F and the Y for Tony Longhurst. That denotes Ford. In the case of Ford, H for Holden, obviously. And the box below that Y, D, Yokohama for Y, D for Dunlop, and of course B for Bridgestone.
Back to position 10, it's John Faulkner, 9 and 10, Faulkner and Perkins. Dick Johnson at 11 and Jason Bargwanna out of 12. The Bridgestone shot cars are looking good here at Phillip Island. We are set for a start. The first of 3, and away we go. Lowndes has got away to a great start, so too Seaton. Scaife slips in behind. Oh, Longhurst has copped it. Got hit from behind. The rest of the field seemed to get away okay, though, but Tony Longhurst, a disastrous start, and it's Mark Scaife on the inside.
Well, much cleaner start than we saw last year. Fortunately, the big pack sweeping through turn 1. And as the Holden Racing team steamroller out front. 1-2, Seaton back there in 3rd position. The first of the Castrol Commodores in 4th position.
Well, Mark Scaife, I mean, getting off the line so good. He's had a few problems in recent times, but that was a great start from the 2nd row. And Craig Lowndes having to slot into 2nd.
Well, he's always said, I need to work on my starts, and he has been doing that, and it's proven to be good work. Have a look at Ingle. Ingle is already up into 3rd around the outside of Seaton. Tries. Can't quite get there in Honda corner. Seaton's got the inside run.
Oh, and Ingle holds the line going to Siberia. What a great move.
For the first time in the Shell Series, we've got Glenn Seaton carrying our helmet cam. You're riding right alongside iView of our reigning champ. Just got squeezed by Russell Ingle. He's got a real battle on his hands here as they head up out of Siberia, up toward Lukey Heights for the first time around.
How about the start from Russell Ingle? He was way back in 6th position and he was already up into 3rd on screen. Glenn Seaton has dropped back to 4th and he's got Jason Bright all over the back of him.
Russell's just the master of these starts, isn't he? It's amazing. He makes so many positions off the start line. That's incredible. So he's going to be a big threat to those 2 guys in front, and you watch him bridge the gap real quickly, I'm sure.
Oh, Dick Johnson is in the pits. Broken windscreen. Have a look at that.
He's had something go straight in there very, very hard. I don't know if it was a bird or something, but he's shaking his head, obviously very disappointed. But
he just said Longhurst bumper bar flew off and hit me in the windscreen.
Yeah, we see Tony in the wars there coming off the start-finish line. The bits of bodywork flying everywhere. Unfortunately, Dick's been the recipient of that missile.
JB's moved up a couple of spots from his, he started 8th and up to 6th. Again, locking up the front wheeler going onto Siberia. You can see him just taking a few different lines to what Larry Perkins is there, just to make sure that Larry can't dive up the inside going to Honda, which is a very, very good popular passing spot going into that corner.
The Valvoline Commodore of Jason Bargwanna is well placed also. He qualified 12th and is up into 8th spot. Here is the Triple M telemetry. Speed and revs.
You're riding with John Bowe, Shell Helix 18 forward. See road speed on the left of your screen, RPM on the right, and that's brake applications in the middle. Let's go for a ride with John Bowe around Phillip Island.
Top speed in excess of 270. Will he get there? Yes, he does. Creeping up 275. So the Shell Helix Ford really cranking down the main straight. They come into this is the section of the circuit they call the Southern Loop. This is where Glenn Seaton came off yesterday. Just spun right here and ended up in the sand trap. Didn't do any damage to the Ford Credit Falcon. His brand new car, mind you. We're sitting with Glenn Seaton. Now someone's gone off. We'll just run a little wide. A bit of dust there.
Just run a little wide, one of the cars in front.
Bowe sits 6th. This is the battle for 6th and 7th. There's Bargwanna looming in the background in 8th. Longhurst has got past Faulkner.
You can see how narrow JB's going into that into Honda there, making sure that Larry doesn't pop up the inside. And there's Tony Longhurst minus bumper.
This is the battle 3, 4, 5.
Really, at the moment, you look at those lap times. Scaife a 1:36.24, Lowndes a 1:36.34, Ingle a 36.58. Boy, only separated by tenths of a second. Very fast bunch of drivers and car combinations in this leading 5, and there's a big gap back from Bright to John Bowe. Let's look at this in the Shell Helix replay. Another incident. Reed down the inside of Rod Nash.
Oh, just a touch.
Oh, bit of contact there. Oh, broken window.
Smashed the window. Both of them off.
It's funny, 2 ex-Wayne Gardner Racing Commodores spinning in perfect unison. Oh, gosh, where are they going? Oh, Melrose
That's the
sneaks
second
through.
time. Last time Lowndes won a race here, in fact the only time that Craig has won a race here was back in 1996, the opening race. Of course he had that horrific accident with John Bowe that year. Things are going much better today.
So they're still in the 37s. Everyone's slipping up now. 37.51. Lowndes 37.53, separated by barely 100th of a second. Yeah, big attack.
Now, it looks like Glenn must have made a mistake coming out of the loop for Bright to make a move like that. And he's dropped back off the back of Russell Ingall also. And look at Ingall, how close he is now to the back of Lowndes. Maybe,
if he's within striking distance, he's going to have a go.
Remember last year, Russell making a last ditch on the last lap, and maybe again.
Bridgestone onboard camera takes you on board Glenn Seaton's Ford Credit Falcon. You're looking back at the Pertec Ford of Jason Bright, one of the sensations of '98, one of the new talent coming on board, and he's done a terrific job for Stone Brothers Racing so far this year, sitting in this leading pack, competitive all year. And last time down over Lukey Heights for Craig Lowndes and Mark Scaife. See if Lowndes can make a move up the inside. They won't want any contact here. Completely different lines as Greg Murphy picked up before.
Well, looks like Mark Scaife is well on his way. He's going to do it. His first ever Shell Australian Touring Car race win at Phillip Island here. Lowndes, he's not giving up though. Has a look on the inside. Will he pull out of the draft and have a run at his teammate? Here we come. He pulls out of the draft. Craig Lowndes. He's not going to have enough though. Mark Scaife does it. Takes out race one here today at Phillip Island. Well done, Mark Scaife. That's a good confidence boost. We're getting ready for race two here at Phillip Island. Let's have a look at the grid. And of course, this is the way they finished from the first race. Mark Scaife with that valuable win. From Craig Lowndes, Russell Ingall in for third and Glenn Seaton fourth.
Out of row two, Jason Bright and John Bowe, the two Fords, Larry Perkins and Jason Bargwanna out of eighth position.
We go back to 9. Tony Longhurst was absolutely wrapped with that run, and he said, wait to the next one when I have a rear bumper on. They'll know all about that I'm going well today. Faulkner, Johnson and Larkham. We are set to go. There's the man of the moment from race one. Mark Scaife in good form at the moment. Will he get another dynamite start? Away we go. It's Lowndes who's blown away on the start. He got away to a terrific start. Scaife will slip into second spot. They all get away cleanly this time around. Now this is where Scaife's got the inside line. He had it in the first race, but he doesn't have it this time. Lowndes will take him through.
Well, critical to get the starts right in this sort of racing. It's so close. Car separated by hundredths of a second. Craig Lowndes just got a better launch off the row, and I guess Greg Murphy, and he's so critical to this level of competition.
Well, we know how competitive it is out there, and obviously Mark Scaife got the jump in the first one and held it to the lead, to the finish. Lowndes was obviously very keen to get a good start in this one that he has done. Russell Ingall in third, Glenn Seaton and John Bowe moved up a spot, fifth spot.
Well, Lowndes hasn't wasted any time in clearing out his gate.
Traffic
got a
jam.
little bit of a bumper there. Go back to Bargwanna is ahead of Longhurst, and we pick up Larry Perkins ahead of Faulkner. Stephen Johnson is there, one of them running wide. But look at this, Ingall is all over the back of Scaife already.
Yeah, he's really on the attack. I spoke to Ingall after race one. He said, mate, we just can't do anything to the car. I mean, it's just not carrying enough speed.
Look at this Craig Lowndes special. He's just blasted away. Look at him, first lap making a big gap from the guys in second and third.
This is where Lowndes really is a specialist, isn't he? Cold tyres, straight out of the box, 2 laps. And he builds up this cushion. He did it all the way through 1996 with what was by far a far superior package. Now the HRT crew are much closer to the rest of the field, but he's still pulling the same start.
You know, the advantage with this is that, you know, he's got, he can get away, get a bit of a break, and then back it off, look after the tyres. Look at Russell, he's giving Scaife a real hard time.
Well, he said he couldn't get any more speed out of the car, but it's looking pretty quick in these opening laps. He tucks up behind the Mobil 1 Commodore of Mark Scaife. They're shifting up to about 6th gear here. Building up to 275k. Russell Ingall looked for a way through. He's right on the back of the Mobil Commodore. Then it's Seaton. Wow. Ellery, as the field sorted himself out of his first hectic lap.
He was there.
This is classic Russell stuff.
In the first one, and now he's right there again. Russell Ingall, the in-car camera, the Sid Chrome in-car camera. He is riding all over the back of Scaife. Now Seaton's back in fourth. Bowe. Then we pick up Bright and Bargwanna. We watch this as we go into Honda.
After getting that broken windscreen fixed, Dick Johnson is on a charge. He's up to 20th position already after 1 lap.
This is the view from John Bowe's Shell Helix Ford down into the southern loop.
JB was saying he had a fair bit of an understeer in that first session. It's really not working too well, but the car seems to be working pretty good now. Is Jason Bright.
Oh, Jason.
Wow, I think he gave him a touch too.
He's been trying to get past for the last couple of laps. He always goes the outside run at Honda. Watch him here. He's climbing all over the back, and Bargwanna's there as well. So too Longhurst.
Bargwanna straight in behind JB and then hung old Bright out to dry. Look at that. This is going to be tight.
Oh, three JBs in a row. John Bow, Jason Bargwanna and Jason Bright.
Oh, he's right up the neck of him.
Look at that.
You want a hand? He's giving him a hand, all right.
I'll give you a little bit more pace out of Siberia, mate, just to know you're here. And Jason Bright and the Pertec Falcon, you can see how busy Bargwanna is. He's feeling plenty of heat. Look at that traffic jam behind him.
That was just a classic move by Jason Bargwanna. Jason Bright forced to the outside and just slotted straight up the inside.
Bargwanna's proving to be a specialist at that. Look at Longhurst on the inside and Larry Perkins as well.
Well, I think he was giving him a bit of a hand there too.
Yeah. You can't get any closer than this. It is a traffic jam.
I think there's about 8 blokes who want to give each other a hand.
Longhurst was very happy with his run in the first one. He said it was a shame about the bumper.
It stayed on that time.
Yeah, that's good.
So the order, Lowndes, he's opened it up 2.3. It'll probably be bigger this time. Scaife and Ingle cutting themselves up. Seaton, Bow, Bright, Bargwanna, Longhurst, Perkins, a big power train. Faulkner back in 10th position.
This is an interesting threesome here. Bargwanna's been able to just get out a little bit as Longhurst looks on the inside of Bright. Couldn't get it. He's giving him a touch.
Giving him a touch, all right. Now, I think Brighty must have had a bit of a problem there because he lost a lot of ground on Bargwanna.
Faulkner's looking to get involved. Longhurst saying he wanted to come into V8 Supercars, son. This is what it's all about.
Now he's got Larry Perkins on the inside. He took advantage of that slow exit out of Siberia. 3 of them climbing all over each other. John Faulkner now, he wants a slice of the action.
And Larkham.
Mark Larkham's coming in too. Paul Romano's up there. And Alan Jones from the Komatsu Ford is just at the back of this pack. Phenomenal stuff.
John Bow, the 18 Shell Helix Ford, well placed in 5th. But the battle goes on, and Bright has caught up a huge amount of ground. There's the Triple M telemetry. That is on board Bow's car. But just in behind him, have a look top of screen. There it is. The Valvoline Cummins Commodore and the Pertec Ford. The two youngsters at it again.
I'm back. He's back.
Look at this. Here we go. Right up the inside. Bang, bang.
You fixed me up earlier. There's one back.
Payback time.
I think that's called the short back and sides.
So we're on our way home. Final lap. This is the corner they call Siberia. Inglis has been trying the whole 11 and a half laps. He hasn't been able to get past Mark Scaife, so it looks pretty sure to be another HRT 1-2.
But I've got to say, this is an outstanding performance for Dunlop. They don't have a factory team that tests down here. It's the first time the company has actually had a full-time development program. Oh, looked like he was going to have a look down the inside, a real dive down the inside, but not quite close enough.
Craig Lowndes is back right off to...
I was going to say, it's the first time Dunlop's had a proper tyre development program since the Kobe earthquake brought the factory down in 1995, and you can really see the consistency is starting to come back into their teams.
Here we go, onto the Wayne Gardner main straight, and it is Craig Lowndes who will pick up his second win here at Phillip Island, his first for today, and his teammate Mark Scaife will get in for second, quite comfortably, in fact, over Castrol's Russell Ingle. So a great run again for HRT, 1-2, however this time in the reverse order.
So big field here and a huge grid as Mark Scaife and Craig Lowndes will lead them off, and the Holden Racing Team 1-2. Russell Ingle and Glenn Seaton out of row 2.
We then go back, position 5, Jason Bright, 6 is Bow, Larry Perkins and Bargwanna, 7 and 8.
Plenty of cars. Tony Longhurst and John Faulkner round at the top 10. Stephen Johnson, the Racing for Life Falcon, that's a great debut. And Mark Larkham in the Mitre 10 Ford will start out of 12.
All right, get ready, get set. This is race 3, the third and final race of the day. Now, Lowndes and Scaife are even on points, so whoever wins this one, or whoever finishes ahead of each other, should win the day. Watch Ingle on the inside. If he gets a lightning start like he did in the previous race, Lowndes could be in trouble. Green, and away we go. Lowndes spins him up and Ingle's through. He's there, so too Seaton. Glenn Seaton crunches into Mark Scaife. So it is Russell Ingle who gets the jump ahead of the two HRT cars as they come flying in the first corner. Hossack and Tratt, either Hossack or Pate. There's definitely Anthony Tratt. They've come off.
Well, plenty of room. Darren Pate it is. Got room to run off there onto the grass, fortunately. Not a big wall there at that sort of speed, but look at Russell Ingle, isn't he a surprise packet? Bang, straight out of the second row. Greg Murphy, that's a pretty critical move at this end of the day.
Well, I was talking to Russell just before the race, and that's exactly what he was going to do. And Larry gave him a bit of advice for the second start today, the second race, and it didn't work. So he's going back to his old way of doing things. Obviously, it paid off.
Well, it works, that's for sure. John Faulkner around the outside of Longhurst and Bow. They almost come together on the exit of Honda Corner. Over into Siberia alongside of the ocean. It is the Castrol Commodore of Russell Ingle who leads the way. Bit of a touch there.
Larry He's side by side with Jason Bright, gives him a little bit of a tap coming out of Siberia. John Bow takes advantage, that's 3 or 4 cars.
He got hung out to dry badly there, and that's thanks to Larry.
Bridie's been getting a workover today, hasn't he? Copped it from Longhurst in the previous one, then Larry served it up to him then.
Now, Russell Ingall was saying that the last race he had quite a lot of understeer, and obviously getting temperature into those tyres in the first couple of laps was obviously very, very important. And we know how good Craig Lowndes was at getting temperature in those tyres early on, so it's obviously paid dividends for him.
Sid Chrome Proto onboard camera shows you the scene from the back of Russell Ingall's car. That's what he's seeing in the rearview mirror. Jason Bargwanna's up in that lead pack. Larry Perkins closing. John Bow continuing to improve during the day. The Shell Helix replay shows a bit of action mid-pack. Oh, a bit of a contact between Melinda Price.
Mike Emery in the Sabrec Commodore goes spinning around.
Melinda's getting in the thick of things.
Yeah, that's further back in the pack. Tough battles with the privateers, but here is your race leader, Craig Lowndes, lap 4 of 12. Plenty of time left, but I tell you what, this guy has got plenty of grunt. He's just streaking away from Russell Ingall and Mark Scaife. He did it so easy in race 2. There is the Bridgestone profile for this young gun, 23 years of age, of course, won the 1996 Australian Touring Car Championship and did the big 3 that year, Bathurst and Sandown as well.
Look at that phenomenal winning ratio, 60%, more than 60% winning ratio this man's racked up. Incredibly successful driver in a very short period of time. And look at what he's done to the field. He's done it once again, a 1:34.87 last time around. He's opened it up 1.3 seconds again. He really knows how to demoralise the field. He'll try and build on that. He'll probably try and get it out to 2 or 3 seconds, and he'll hold that cushion all the way to the line.
Well, speaking of demoralising, that's what Holden is doing to Ford today. It's just been 1, 2, 3. Bargwanna runs wide. He's going to have to gather that back up for the climb up over Lukey Heights. We'll look back and see if he has. Yes, he has. Good work. Down into MG. Larry Perkins blocks the line there for John Bow, then Bright's back. Here is a replay of an earlier incident.
Whoa, Stephen Ellery. Garth Tander.
Just Tander's going to lose it.
Yeah, he's gone.
Just tapped Tander's tail around. So that was a bit unfortunate for Garth. There it is again. Ellery just contacted Tander's car.
And Hossack caught up in that as well.
The Wins Commodores have been in the wars again today.
Through on the inside goes Stephen Johnson in the Racing for Life Falcon. But Ellery is back on track in the Conacher Holden Young Lions entry. He got tangled up with Anthony Tratt earlier today.
Well, he's been really struggling here this weekend. Stephen Ellery leading the Holden Young Lions program. He actually qualified down amongst the leading privateers on the Yokohama control tyre. Really struggling for setup at Phillip Island. Hasn't been a happy weekend for Steve or the Brett Gibson Motorsport team. Hang on, they've got a Holden Racing team car. That's Scaife. Coming in for a tyre change. He wouldn't have wanted to have to do that. There must have been some damage, I guess, to Greg Murphy.
I can't understand that. He looked quite comfortable there. For unless we missed something when we went away there. Maybe he had a touch-up with Russell Ingall, maybe.
Yeah, trying to get through. There we go back. Thomas Mazera, Steve Reed and Garth Tander, who is now back on track after that incident with Steve Ellery at this position here in Honda Corner. Now, this young guy, this West Australian, is going very well. He's the reigning Formula Ford champion of Australia. Gary Rogers gave him the berth in this car, gave him the drive when Stephen Richards decided to head overseas for other driving duties.
The rain really streaming. You can see that on the windscreen of Glenn Seaton's car.
Now, I'm not sure exactly what will happen, but it's 75%, which is 9 laps of this race. They may stop it, so we're raining pretty hard too.
A little way from that at the moment. We're just on lap 7, so...
Well, word from the pits why Mark Scaife came in to change that tyre. He had a flat on one side and a flat spot on the other front tyre, so he's really been having some trouble with the front tyre. Shell Helix replay.
Spin by Dick Johnson.
Coming onto the front straight with Jason Bright.
Bit of contact there, maybe.
Hey, good work by John Faulkner too.
Johnny Faulkner. Oh, and he's in the grass, not a place to be. I know all about that.
Yep. So Dick Johnson getting back. Yeah, he slid off again. That's the second spin Dick's had. That's just indicating how slippery it's getting out there. These cars on full slick tyres. That means they have no tread pad to squeegee the water away. And I guess, Greg Murphy, you don't need much water on the track before those things start skating.
Well, it's like ice out there, basically. Just pretend you're driving on ice. Very slippery. Look at this Bargwanna now challenging. Oh no, he's dropped back. Perkins has actually got past him, so I thought that was Russell Ingall.
Bargwanna's struggling big time now. The word through we've got to that Stephen Ellery has stopped, and they've sent him out on wets. Now, if he can go like a man possessed, he might make up some ground. There he is in the background. Doing fine. I'm just looking at our timing monitor. He would be at least a lap down, wouldn't he, I'd say?
And Russell's catching Lounsey too, I think, by the looks of it.
So we're getting a real shuffle here. It's the gap between Larry
gone.
The gap between Lowndes and Ingles down to 1.7 seconds.
It looks to me like the Dunlop is actually working better in this condition.
Yeah, we've quite often seen this though, Murph. Like when it's been a dry day and you get a little spit of rain, the Dunlops in a slick condition seem to work particularly well. John Bow is taking it very, very easily around here.
Now Bargwanna, his mirror's full. Oh, and it looks like Russell Ingall up front there, or...
oh, look, it's down to half a second now, the gap between Lowndes and Ingall. There it is.
Yep.
So it looks like Lowndes is really struggling for grip here, and Ingall is really making big inroads on our race leader. 9 laps completed. He's still got a fair bit of time to do something about it, but Craig Lowndes really feeling the pressure. He puts 1 foot wrong here, he's going to be off the circuit.
Absolutely. In the Honda corner, this is where we've seen Larry Perkins skate off. Sid Chrome Proto in car camera. Now he does out into Siberia. Oh, just in the tap too.
Just tapped him. Yeah, obviously, neither of these guys want to go off. There's a lot of points at stake here, so they want to be very, very careful. Now he's dived up.
Now this is 1 and 2 in the championship as it is on the track. Lowndes leading the championship after 3 rounds. Russell Ingall sitting in second after having that great run at Lakeside.
Yeah, well, as long as Craig Lowndes finishes in third, one of the top 3 positions, he will still win the day overall. But Russell Ingall,
around the outside here, that's amazing.
He is just fighting for championship points here. He really wants to get that first position.
And the brakes down here will be interesting too.
This is like ice skating, isn't it? They're just slipping and sliding all over the place. Everything happened in slow motion, but it's showing that they have an enormous amount of skill.
And the crossover from Russell, it's interesting to see where he gets out of here.
These guys are
around the outside. Sideways in the Commodore.
Lowndes doesn't want to give up either.
He's coming. Oh,
look,
you
the
two.
contact between the 2 of them.
But he gets away with it.
So Ingall is our new race leader with 2 laps to go. 2 very tentative laps around the 4.5 kilometre Phillip Island circuit.
8.8 kilometres of racing, and they're on a real skating rink now. You can see that. They can barely get the throttles down to try to get the power to the track. It's that slippery.
And here's AJ, Alan Jones in the Komatsu Ford, loving these conditions, obviously, because he's come right up from outside of the top 10. He's now in 5th position, challenging Perkins for 4th.
Well, he wasn't a happy man after heat 2. He said, this thing's got so much understeer, I just can't get it to work for me. But now in this 3rd heat, these conditions, these changeable track conditions, the Komatsu Ford starting to work particularly well.
Yokohama must like these conditions.
Yeah, well, Longhurst, his teammate, is back in 6th. Right.
Larry! AJ, does he get the run on him? It's side by side, not a place to be going 2 abreast. Oh, Larry!
The rain's coming down. Rain's coming down heavier too. AJ.
He's gone between them. AJ's off in the sand.
Oh, they're head-to-head in tears, I'm afraid.
Oh, he'll be furious about that.
Well, you said he wasn't happy after the 2nd race, Mark. What do you reckon he's going to be thinking now?
I don't think I'll be going near the Komatsu Ford garage after this one.
That's disappointing as we pick up our race leader. How good's this? Russell Ingall has worked very hard and deserves this win. The last time he won at Phillip Island was race 2 last year. He takes out our 3rd and final race here today. Well done, Russell Ingall. That is valuable, valuable championship points, and he'll be delighted with that. A gutsy drive ahead of Craig Lowndes in for 2nd, and it looks like John Bow has hung on for 3rd. Craig Lowndes still stays at the top of the championship points. Russell Ingall has consolidated his spot. He did so well today, and his teammate Larry Perkins joins him up there in 3rd. Scaife, Bow, Seaton, Bright, Johnson, Longhurst and Jason Bargwanna is still in the top 10. Well, it's going to be action-packed. We've set a new record for the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. 41 entries, but only 36 can fit on the track at any one time. And for the 11th time in his career, Mark Scaife will start from pole. John Bow will start alongside, then the 2 Castrol cars, Larry Perkins and Russell Ingall.
Out of row 3, Stephen Johnson. What a great qualifying effort from young Steve in the Racing for Life Falcon, just ahead of Craig Lowndes. Tony Longhurst will start out of 7. Dick Johnson will come out of 8.
Then go back position number 9, Jason Bright, who's been having some troubles here, so too as defending champ Glenn Seaton. They're a little frustrated at the moment. Mark Larkham back in 11 and Jason Bargwanna 12. Well, the last time Mark Scaife was on pole here at Winton was in 1992 when he cleaned up in both races in the Nissan GTR. He ended up winning the round. That was the last time not only was he on pole, but he actually won a race here at the rural Victorian circuit. It is now new. It is 1 kilometre longer as we get set for this first race. It is going to be a ripper. Watch the first corner as we get set. You've got to get a good start here, that's for sure. Ready. Seem to be holding for a long time. Away they go now. Scaife got away to a good start. That'll give him some relief for sure. Oh, it's Mark
Larry
Scaife
Perkins, this is going to be bad.
Oh, goodness me.
through there without getting taken out.
That is a big recovery. Well done by Mark Scaife. He's back on the track and back in action. Stephen Johnson's got through on a good start, but action right from the word go.
That was unbelievable. Mark Scaife sneaked through the gap. I don't know how he did not get T-boned by one of those Castrol cars.
Enormous potential for disaster there at the first turn, but Scaife made a miraculous recovery coming across the grass. That puts him back in the order, and he's got a lot of work to do now. He'll be very annoyed about that.
Garth Tander coming right up around the outside, chock-a-block on the track. Looked like Hossack got away to a great start and came up a couple of positions with his teammate. Now look at this.
JB.
He's just gone.
Scaife up the inside of Johnson there. As they come out of Repco Bend, he's really pumped up behind his teammate Craig Lowndes. And another challenge from Tony Longhurst.
So Steve Johnson is right in the thick of things, nice and early. Longhurst coming up, then Bright, then we go back to Bargwanna. Dick Johnson looks like he's gone back a couple of positions, and Seaton is in behind him.
Well, Craig Lowndes all over the back of Mark Scaife now. Now Mark will be wanting to get back up the front there after that excursion at the start with one of those Castrol Commodores just helping him on his way. Very disappointing.
Let's have a look at a replay now. Watch Mark Scaife left of screen. Now he got away to a great start. He would have been happy about that.
Yeah, he comes across just to cover the line. And like, who was that? Was that Larry? Larry just did not bother trying to stop and just fed him off. Now look at this. This could have been absolute disaster. Larry misses him. Russell just sneaks around the inside. But, wow, what a miss. Stephen Johnson sliding into fourth. What a great start.
He said, thanks very much, I'll go up there. Here's our race leader, John Bowe. Then we go back. Russell Ingall has got up into second. Then Larry Perkins. Now Mark Scaife with the lights on. He'll be wanting to square things up here with Larry. Try and get through on him at least anyway. Then we go back to Lowndes, Longhurst, Bright, Bargwanna. Steve Johnson's back in ninth now, just ahead of his father, Dick.
Now we know how hard Larry is to get past, and on Winton being so tight, it's going to be very, very tough. And also, Russell made a move on Larry somewhere we didn't see, and he's got past him, which was obviously a good move.
Oh, look at the amount of hustle he's putting on Perkins here.
Oh, he's gone through!
And we're back to that battle, and he goes.
Oh, he's beat him again!
Contact between Perkins and Scaife.
This is going to continue for a while, I would say.
Winner out of that one's Craig Lowndes. He's gone up 2 positions, so he said, thanks, boys. I'll keep on cruising through while Larry's on the back of him.
Well, 2 laps not even completed. We've had 2 big contacts between Larry Perkins and Mark Scaife. Scaife out on the grass both times. Boy, he'll be pumped up now.
Look at Larry's he's pushing Craig Lowndes now. And Mark Scaife will want to get back on the tail of this battle.
Well, the Holden Racing team really surprised everyone in qualifying, with Scaife pulling that brilliant lap out in qualifying of 1:23.08 when they expect the Dunlop cars to dominate qualifying. Let's have a look on the Shell Helix replay. Look at this,
Mark
right up the
Scaife
inside.
dives through the inside.
Oof.
Contact again on the exit. Larry decided, you're not having this. Stayed where he was. Mark Scaife came across. Well, these two are going to have a few words after this one.
It's going to be interesting as the thing goes on, isn't it?
Getting stuck in, aren't they? So the order at the moment, Bowe, he's opened it up 1.5 seconds over Ingall, Lowndes, Perkins, Scaife, Longhurst, right up there too, Bargwanna in the Valvoline Commodore. Stephen Johnson, he's ended up right back in 9th position after that great start. Dick Johnson, his old man, he's in 10th.
Craig Lowndes on screen at the moment has never driven here at this circuit. The last time he raced here, I think, was in a Formula Holden in '94.
There's this new angle, a new lipstick camera mounted on the side of Glenn Seaton's helmet. You get a real driver's eye view as he tries to close it on the back of Dick Johnson. Seaton currently sitting in 11th position. There's a real battle there for the tail of the top 10 between Dick, Stephen Johnson and Jason Bargwanna.
We're watching the battle for the lead. This is the view from the back of John Bowe's Ford.
You just watch the car placement of JB. He puts that car exactly where Russell will want his one to be. Very hard to get past.
Taking into account, Greg, all the similarity of the turns, I guess, on this circuit, is there one corner here which presents itself as the best overtaking opportunity?
Not really. I think there's obviously some are better than others, but
oh, look at this!
There's opportunities like Russell's trying to do here is to get the crossover effect on someone, get a better line, force JB to an inside going into a corner, take the outside fast line and come back across on the inside. And that'll be one of the easiest ways, well, probably the best way for Russell to get past.
Have a look in the background, Craig Lowndes
watch
coming
this.
right up.
Yeah,
Oh,
there he goes. Russell's in.
Oh,
the two of them must have touched. And look at Lounsey here. He must be there. There he is.
Oh, jeez.
Well, there you go. Russell, he knows this track back to front. It's his home test circuit. And he made the move, and it stuck. Great move.
He could just sniff the opportunity there, and he went for it. Blazed through on the inside.
Not only is Craig Lowndes caught up, but also Larry Perkins is coming up. He's been a big winner out of this situation as well.
Be interested to see if there's any battle damage on the side of John Bowe's car. That was pretty close leaning into that corner.
I think you can say that was just nice, clean passing stuff. That was really good to watch, and Russell just forced his way through there, but the two of them stayed on the track.
Now, tremendous battle on our hands now. The Castrol Commodore, Russell Engel, Bow in second position. He's feeling plenty of heat from Craig Lowndes on the charge. Let's have a look at this on the Shell Helix replay. Saw the opportunity, boom.
JB, he just kept going for the corner, but there was a Commodore there. Craig's lost a little bit of ground there, and interesting to see why.
Well, let's have a look at the replay, Murph.
Here we go. Going over the far side. Oh, now Larry, that's not a passing move. What was he thinking? He's obviously got a thing wrong with his HRT cars today.
So Larry really aggressive on his home track. This is the Castrol Holden test track. And he really muscled his way into third position there. That puts Lowndes back to fourth. Teammate Scaife, he's back in fifth position. Then it's Longhurst, Bright, Bargwanna back in eighth, and the two Johnsons, Stephen leading his dad in 10th position. And there is our race leader, Russell Engel. There's Bow in second position. Perkins is back there in third.
That's interesting, actually. JB's actually pulled a bit of a gap on Larry,
it was a lot closer before, wasn't it?
And it looks like Russell might have just backed off a fraction to save the tyres towards the end of the race.
So after that electrifying speed of the Bridgestone cars in qualifying, it's turning out to a Dunlop day. 1, 2, 3 at the top in heat 1.
Last year, Larry Perkins won the first race and Russell Engel won the following two. It's the other way around. This year, Russell is going to take out the first race. He'll be very happy about that. It's going to help him with his championship points. And on his home track, Engel is number 1 in race number 1. Well done, Russell Engel. A good drive there, a very forceful drive. John Bowen for second, and Larry Perkins will pick up third. We get ready for race 2. Of course, Russell Engel will start from pole. John Bow, position 2. 3 is Larry Perkins. 4, Craig Lowndes.
Mark Scaife made a good recovery from that first corner incident. He's in 6th alongside Longhurst, Jason Bargwanna, and the Valvoline Commodore Jason Bright, the old sparring partners alongside each other.
These, of course, are the finishing positions of race 1. Steve Johnson 9, his father Dick in 10, Glenn Seaton back in 11, and John Faulkner 12. All right, we're getting set for a start. A little bit of an added extra here. We're going to have Russell Engel's telemetry on screen, brought to you by Triple M. This will show you how it is at the start of a race rather than during the race. We'll hold it up for a short time, just to the first corner, to see what happens on the line, off the line, and down into turn 1, where it is so frantic. We saw plenty of action there. This should be interesting, Murph.
Yeah, it will be. We'll see how Russell holds the RPM on the car, and also when he gets away, what he does with that RPM. There we are, raising the revs now, bringing him up. Some of the guys already on the limit. There goes Russell, and he is nearly on the run. He's not on the rev limiter. 6.5. 7 now, he's on the limiter. 7.5, and away he goes.
Great start too.
Great start. Look at that rocket fly. Jason Bargwanna on the grass. Oh. John Bow slotted into second too.
Jason Bargwanna, he'll be disappointed with that. He lost a lot of positions. There's carnage in the first turn. It looked like Tander, I think. Tander went off.
Bargwanna it was. Yeah, you could see him in the wars off the line. Managed to get back on the tarmac, then he spun around again after turn 1.
Trying to muscle his way through, and it just didn't work.
So close competitive stuff. We're only a few hundred metres into heat 2, and look at them all over the back of each other. Russell Engel, you can see that on the onboard Triple M telemetry, holding it on the rev limiter. Bang, dropping the clutch, and a great start too. Very important around Winton Motor Raceway.
Bow in second, then we go back. Larry Perkins, Craig Lowndes sitting in the 4th. It looked like Dick Johnson has already got past Stephen Johnson back in 9th or 10th position. Here they come now. Lowndes right on Larry Perkins. Well, we'll see if there's a payback here in this race for race 1. Have a look at this field. 36 cars streaming their way around this 3 kilometre. Just got a quick shot there of Bargwanna. He is right at the back of the pack. So a lot of work to do from him there. Scaife sits in 5th position ahead of Longhurst. Then we've got Bright, Dick Johnson, Steve Johnson, and Glenn Seaton. That is your top 10. Romano on the inside of Tander.
Oh, and Mark Larkham going to follow through. It's going to be tight here.
Oh,
and he's touched him. He's going
too.
around. Tander.
Oh!
Larkham.
Got sandwiched.
Nowhere to go.
Completely airborne. All 4 wheels off the ground as he got the squeeze between those 2 cars. Boy, oh boy.
That's Larkham right at the back of the pack. Look, he's carrying a lot of dirt that's been scooped up in the front spoiler.
I wouldn't be surprised if that car's pretty damaged underneath, Greg.
The steering especially, I think, might have been damaged in that one. I mean, Tander sort of closed the gap, didn't give enough room, and really, ooh, that's a hard one to call again. But he had nowhere to go then. He saw the Commodore coming back in front of him, nowhere, and Cruncho. Terry Finnegan on the outside of them both.
Did get airborne too. That ripple strip helped that, didn't it? They all of here's a different angle.
Real domino effect, wasn't it? You watch when Larkham, he goes Off to the other side, and there's Finnegan coming around, and oof, now Finnegan gets
right
it.
off the ground. The whole thing jumped right off the ground.
Anthony Tratt lucky to squeeze through that, and he damaged there too, but Larkham's car, that took a pretty hard hit. Meanwhile, this is a great battle here between Mark Scaife, Tony Longhurst,
Look at Longhurst down the window. He's waving his hand out the window.
And Dick Johnson putting on a great display. He's really shown some turn of speed this weekend.
Well, Tony was pretty pumped up after Heat 1. He said,
Faulkner's gone.
Faulkner's out there right out in the dust. Oh, look how dry it is down here.
I wouldn't want to be coming around that corner right now onto the new section.
Syndrome onboard camera looking out the window of Ingall's car. That's what he's seeing in his rearview mirror. Lights on. John Bowe breathing right down his neck. And he's only got to make the slightest mistake. Bowe will be in there.
The type of place, this is the type of place. If you make one little mistake, as I think one of the drivers was saying the other day, it can upset so many more of the corners. You have to be right on. It's so tight, and each corner is so close to one another. You make one mistake, you get out of line, it's going to cost you dearly for the next corner.
You know, when Russell Ingall made the move on John Bowe in race 1, exactly what you were just saying then, Greg. Russell said, I saw John, and he got a little out of shape. He was going in there with a nice slide, and he said, I'm in. It's my chance.
Open the gap.
Yeah, open the gap, and I'm through.
That's it.
And JB said, I couldn't do anything about it. I'm trying to gather it all up.
See, look at Russell now. He's guarding the inside line. JB doesn't have the speed to be able to get up alongside or create a move there, but he'll try and double up now, force Russell narrow, then look for the, obviously not enough room to do it.
He made a mistake!
I was just going to say, you were looking at absolute pressure driving there. One little mistake, and Bowe would be in there. Look at that Ingall. He just went a little bit too hot into that corner.
I don't think he touched him either. I think that was just Russell just overcooked it, like we saw Jason Marquardt or Jason Bright in the first race.
Tony Longhurst is really pumped.
He's enjoying his day's racing. We saw him speaking with Mark Osler earlier. He's loving it. He said that this is so action-packed. Someone's gone. Bush, back on. Who was that? Can't quite see because of the dust just yet. I think it's one of our Simon Ebezides, it is, in the Simon's Earthworks car. So, plenty of action with the privateers. There's not much to go in this one. Can Dick Johnson do anything about Tony Longhurst? But it's checkered flag time. John Bowe's going to get there. So, we thought Ingall was going to dominate today. It's not the case. As we have a look at the grid for the third and final race today, John Bowe and Russell Ingall, they'll share the front row. Craig Lowndes and Larry Perkins the second. That should be some fireworks in that one.
Scaife and Longhurst out of row 3. Row 4 has Dick Johnson and Paul Romano lining up.
Have a look at the finishing positions of some of these guys. A great effort by Darren Hossack there in 11th and Steve Ellery in 12th. We're getting ready. Keep your eyes on the second row because Lowndes and Perkins have been having a few barneys today, and they've had words in between the last race and now, so there could be some fireworks in this one.
It's a critical race too for these two men, John Bowe and Russell Ingall. Ingall has closed the gap to championship leader Lowndes by 10 points. He's only 30 behind now, and Bowe desperately needs to climb up the order as well. This first corner is going to be a cracker.
Get ready, we're ready to do it again. Away we go! A good start by Lowndes on the inside. Bowe's got the jump though, he's got the inside rail. Oh! Larry's hit Russell Ingall. He's hung on to it beautifully. Lowndes goes through, Scaife goes through, up in the second spot.
Lowndes has got damage too. The front of that car, I think he's got a tyre rubbing. Yeah, he's in a bit of trouble.
Can you believe that contact between the two Castrol Commodores, Russell Ingall?
Well, it was doomed to end in tears. I mean, not Russell, but Larry Perkins and Craig Lowndes weren't happy campers between those two races, and it struck.
Now, Larry's back there, Ingall's up ahead of him, but he's dropped a ton of positions, considering he came off the front row.
Mark Scaife's made the best of that one.
And a big winner too is Dick Johnson up into third. That's great. So too, I think, one of the wins cars, Hossack it could be, who's up there. Bright's up there as well. So a lot of people benefiting from that first corner incident. It was unbelievable, the two Castrol Commodores coming together. Scaife was a very big winner out of that one. Have a look at the replay. First corner, watch Perkins. Now this is from the back of John Bowe's car.
Looking at Lowndesy there and Larry Perkins, they both come across. Larry has come across, he's moved, the two of them have touched. The front wheel, look at the front wheel locked up, straight ahead. And obviously he's hit Russell. Oh, there's Russell coming back at Lowndes. That's a big one.
Here it is from the top angle. Now, Larry Perkins did get away to an excellent start, a brilliant start, but then it all got too close. And that's where the contact was made.
Contact between the Castrol Commodore and the Holden Racing Team car.
Anthony Tratt.
Cannoned off, hit Ingle on the outside. He got the worst deal in that one. He's back to about 8th position. Just waiting for the field to come across the start-finish line this time around. But there's the order. Bow, it is in command. Scaife, Dick Johnson in 3rd position. Bright back in 4th. Ingle, Longhurst, Hossack, Romano, Ellery and Seaton on board with John Bow.
Look at that wheel on the inside there and on the outside. Mark Scaife's Commodore locking up the tyre just about every time he goes into a corner. But this car seems to be performing a little bit better than what it did earlier in the day. So they obviously made some changes. Mark will probably be a bit happier with the performance so far. So hopefully he can stay where he is.
Well, by the look of it, Russell Ingle is the fastest man on the track now. He's just on a 1:24.1. Our race leader a 1:24.9. So Ingle trying desperately to close the gap. He has closed it too. It's down to 3.6 seconds behind Jason Bright in 4th position. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can make any more headway before this race is completed.
Big mover in the field, Jason Bargwanna has come from 29th up to 14th position. So he's made up 15 spots. He is hot to trot. Have a look at Dick Johnson on Mark Scaife. Things are getting nice and hot there for that 2nd position. Dick would be enjoying himself, and Jason Bright's come right up into the action as well.
He is closed right up on the back of Scaife now.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, he's dived. He's, oh no!
Oh, over the grass too.
I
He saw
think
that
he realised he was in a bit of trouble there too. So
he got so far in, didn't he, Greg? And he just thought, well, I'm going to be able to ripple strips over the grass or something. So he's pulled his nose back out of the trough, but he's going to have another go for sure.
Hey guys, have a look who is looming in the background. Ingle caught up a tremendous amount of ground courtesy of that little incident. So obviously Bright, we were talking about Bright, he's right there now. But watch at the top of the screen if we can get a look, maybe not, that shot there. Ingle is right in here.
Well, what's happening, I think you'll see Scaife.
he's right there.
As all the Bridgestone runners this year meeting have been struggling with these tyres. They're not working the way they want them to, and you're getting a big build up behind. Look at that on the Shell Helix replay. Steve Reed.
Darren Pate?
Yeah,
Darren Pate.
Alan Jones in the Komatsu Ford just sneaking on through as well.
Look at Russell. He's caught up that 20-odd metres or 30 metres in a matter of corners.
This is going to be fascinating.
This is going to be good.
How would you like to be in Dick Johnson's shoes at the moment? He's watching England trying to get past Scaife. Things are tough. They come down into the left hand of the new part of the circuit.
See, the problem is now Dick is the one that's really in trouble because he can't make a move on Scaife unless it's definitely going to happen. Otherwise, Russell's going to fill the hole. So now he's going to be defensive. So now, he's really in a hiding to nothing.
You can imagine Russell's brain will be going at 1,000,000 miles an hour, just checking out every possible opportunity he's got to try and get inside the Shell Ford and have a go at Scaife.
And he's in a hurry. He'll be doing something awfully quickly.
Lap 10 of 15. We've still got plenty of time left.
He's been very fast here all weekend. He ducks out of the draft, has a look down the outside as they break hard for the S's. Johnson equal to the task. Scaife just up in front of them, look, hooks a wheel up in the air.
Look at the run he got out of that corner.
Fastest 5 laps from this race.
Dick covers the inside, he goes down. Whoa!
Whoa! Side by side.
But he has the run.
And
nice
he's got him.
Move.
What a nice move too. Very clean.
So tidy. Oh, and Dick's going to lose out again. Yes, he does too.
Give credit to Dick there, though. He gave Russell plenty of room.
Absolutely. It's a shame he actually lost that 2nd spot because he didn't deserve that.
Well, I'll tell you what, you've got to hand it to Ingle, don't you? Talk about aggression. He's just moved his way through the field. 2 of the top competitors in the field. He's sliced his way through. He's carrying that speed. So he's going to have Mark Scaife in his gun sights pretty soon too.
So Longhurst now moves up into 4th spot. He's well placed. That's his best run.
This is a fantastic run for the Castrol Ford team. Tony, ever the trier, hasn't quite had the product, certainly been struggling. Well, the crowd on Main Straight are going nuts. You can hear them cheering. These cars nose to tail. They're clipping at each other's heels, waiting for Scaife to make the slightest error. Ingle will be through. Look at the amount of pressure this man's enduring in the Mobil 1 Commodore.
He's
Ingle
using every single inch of this track and more to make sure no one can make it. That car is definitely in trouble. You can see the attitude that it's got through the corners. He's struggling.
How good is this for Tony Longhurst? That's unreal. He's going to be so excited. He's been loving it out there. This is the view from Russell Ingle's car. The Castrol.
Oh, there's a hit.
Longhurst right up. Now Longhurst has got to be there because Dick's right on his hammer.
There's nothing he can do about that at all. Nothing he can do.
Well,
it's all happening. Look at this. He's on the outside this time.
Gloves are off here. Ingle now.
Down the outside. Look how close that is.
He can sniff that 2nd position. Scaife, the only one. He's got to overtake to do it. He's already leading the championship now if he stays in this position. And if he can get another position, that's going to be even better. Look at
Whoa! Get out of the...
Bit of a bit. Up the bumper. Come on,
Scaife.
What's happened?
Russell picked the wrong gear there.
Oh, yeah. Look, he's slowly coming out of that corner.
Nice work.
Look at Dick's back. Dick's back. And look at Romano, latched on the back of these guys. The gap has just closed right up.
Payback time for Tony Longhurst there as Dick snatches one back in similar circumstances to before when he lost his position.
The braking draw. Longhurst gets some attitude up the inside. He's got the inside run this time for turn 1. And he's got him back. Look at that.
3 kilometres of bitumen remaining for this.
Paul Romano has got past Jason Bright.
To 6th spot, what an effort.
Tremendous battle.
It is all go here.
You can see Scapey's using every bit of road he can get that car's tyres onto to keep this man out.
Well, he's got about 2 kilometres to do it. Russell Ingall has no time.
Let's not forget about our race leader, though, John Bow. Here he is. Great work from JB. He is cleared out right from the word go. The collision in the first corner helped him tremendously. He got the jump, and he hasn't looked back. It's been a great run by JB, a really top effort. And he's, well, look at that. That shot illustrates it perfectly. That's how far out in front he is.
He hasn't had a drive like that for a while. Well, look at this battle for second position. This is going to be over until they cross that checkered flag. Russell Ingall really leaning on the Mobil 1 Commodore as they come out up the back straight for the final time.
He will hold the inside line all the way down the straight. Now, the thing is, Russell can take the outside line, but watch out for Longhurst. And he'll get the switch. Will he get the switch?
He's going to try and stuff it up the inside.
Scaife just came across. This is so tight.
There's our race winner, John Bow, but the real action's happening a bit further down the track. Well done, JB. But you've got a real pack of V8s coming down after you.
JB across the line for the win. Here it is, the battle for second to the line. Mark Scaife will hang on, only just. Well, there's no doubt that the championship is wide open. Russell Ingall now stands at the top from Craig Lowndes. We didn't really expect that when Lowndes had a 40-point lead. It certainly helped John Bow with that win today. He rockets up into the top 3. Perkins, Scaife, Dick Johnson, Jason Bright is there, Longhurst, Seaton and Jason Barguana rounding out the top 10.
There's never been any doubt about the speed of Mark Scaife, but in 1998, the former champ has been struggling to turn that speed into race wins. Well, Herbert Malala, congratulations on taking your 3rd pole position for the series. Is this the day you're going to turn your championship around?
Well, we'd like to think so. I suppose the performances so far in the races haven't been as good as we would have liked. The luck hasn't really been there so far. So if we make a good start and get on with the job in the early laps, hopefully we can get a reasonable result today.
I guess we've started the official countdown. 5 rounds down, 5 to go. Every round now really critical for you.
Well, certainly with 5 rounds and 15 races, I mean, it's a long way to go. And we've seen throughout the season with some of the luck that we've had, but other competitors, that 30 or 40 or 50 points is easy to lose or gain. So it'll be very interesting for the rest of the series, and certainly today, this will be a very tough race.
Let's have a look at how they line up. For the 3rd time this year, Scaife starts from pole. Mark Scaife in the Mobil 1 HRT Commodore alongside John Bow. Just 2 1/1000ths of a second difference. Craig Lowndes and Jason Bright make up the 2nd row.
3rd row looks like this. Russell Ingall, our championship leader, with Glenn Seaton and the Ford Credit Racing Ford alongside him. Dick Johnson, good effort that in qualifying, and Larry Perkins in position 8.
Back to position 9, another great effort by young Stephen Johnson in the Racing for Life Falcon. Mark Larkham in 10, Jason Barguana a little frustrated in qualifying, and Neil Crompton makes his return, he's in 12. Round 6 of 10 in this year's Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. Will it be Bow or will it be Scaife? Away we go!
Oh,
Who's got off the best? Bow! John Bow on the inside, got away with a brilliant start, and Russell Ingall pushes up the inside! Have a look at this! Bow holds steady, now Scaife tries to come back. Ingall, what a ripper of a start!
Yeah, you can see Russell pushing for position there. He didn't want to get left high and dry on the inside. He was just muscling the back of Bow's Ford as he found his position. Mark Scaife, pole man, left behind. He's back in 3rd or 4th position. He'll be kicking himself about that because that pole position, he said, was very valuable to him.
Yeah, Scaife was just sitting still. I looked out the window, he was just sitting on the line with maximum wheel spin. But Russell Ingall, oh, the brave man.
Both Mobil HRT cars there coming out of the southern hairpin. It looked like one of the Shell cars, Dick Johnson, ducking up the inside. Tricky conditions, the sun's out, but the track is still wet.
Oh, look at this, whoa, here we go.
Rod Nash, Steve Ellery, Terry Finnegan.
Oh, look at this. Wayne Russell and
Rod Nash.
Yeah, caught up in that as well. Privateers getting a bit there at the back of the front, side by side as they come down through the northern hairpin for the first time. Big field, oh, a little bit of contact there. Dean Crosswell too, he's getting muscled by Alan Jones. Romano in there as well. Boy, it's tight. And you can see the damage there to Terry Finnegan's Sony Commodore.
The difficult thing here, where there's been races before, you've got a bit of, oh, look at this going on the back.
Oh, look, they're all leaning on each other. The track's very, very slippery. Look at that sliding around. Terry Finnegan trying to get back. but he's got some severe damage to the car there, smoke belching from it.
The problem is, Mark, what they're doing where there's been races before, there's a bit of a dry line, and the guys are wandering off the dry line. Look at JB.
Look at these two guys, they've just streaked away. Now DJ is giving Escape a hard time. Dick Johnson has passed Lowndes. Now he's working on our pole sitter, who is now back in third, Mark Scape. The two out in front have gone. Bow and Ingle have bolted. This is where the action is here for the miners, and he's through.
Yeah, well, this is, whoa, gets a big sideways Dick. But this is very typical we see in these conditions. When the sun comes out, the track's just a little bit greasy. The Dunlop slicks seem to work particularly well in this condition. Look how close the Holden Racing team, Mobile Commodore, gets on Shell Helix on board Canberra. You're riding with Dick Johnson. And you can see the amount of wheel spin behind there as Larry Perkins now tries to move in on the action. Well, Russell Ingall, 1:11.6, so the time's starting to come down. Keep in mind, they were qualifying.
Oh, Stephen Johnson. Oh, what a shame. Oh, backer.
Oh, he just caught it.
T-Bone City.
Now, is that is Scaife?
That's Scaife, isn't it?
It looks like it's...
Yeah, Mark Scaife. Boy. Talk about bad luck. In 1998, it seems to follow him around. Like a shadow almost. So Ingall just feints a little to the right.
Crosswell's choice of tyres didn't do him much good to this. Now he's down in the 19th place.
Anthony Track just ran off the road there too. You can see him in the background. Ingall getting very, very close as they come out of Scotcher Complex this time. Heading down toward the southern hairpin. He's trying to set John Bow up, but John equal to the task. Very tough customer when you get into this sort of hand-to-hand combat. Bow now hits him with the traffic.
Look at this lot.
John Briggs in the Super Cheap Autos Commodore. Crosswell gives them racing room. The two of them pick their way through, heading up towards Shell Curve once again. 235 kilometres an hour as he tries to find his way through the traffic. And we've got a replay here. Oh, he's in trouble. Crunch.
Garth Tander in the Gary Rogers Valvoline car. It's his first time in a V8 here at Mallala, only his third race meeting. He'll be disappointed that that's happened.
So the order, Bow and Ingall, this tremendous battle continues for the lead. 5.9 seconds to get back to Johnson.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's not over yet. We've got 3/4 of a lap left to run, and Russell Ingall isn't giving in. We know he's quick down this section past the pits. All that area behind there is pit lane. Comes past Wayne Russell on the inside. Now he's back within a car length of John Bow. Both cars up Dunlop tyres.
The place to watch will be as they come down toward that northern hairpin. It's a very, very slow corner. They're coming from maximum speed, about 230 kilometres an hour. Breaking right down for a very, very slow right-hander. Bow. Oh, look! That's what happened last time. Ingall this time tried to take advantage. Bow. You cannot brake harder than that and risk spinning the car.
Now look at this. This is exactly the same as the previous lap. John Bow puts the power down, gets the power down a lot more efficiently, or that's what it seems, and he just walks away from Russell there, and that one has got it for him. He has got it in the bag as he comes through the Shell S's. This is it. A very happy moment, a very satisfying moment in John Bow's career as he takes out race one and his very first race win here at Mallala in South Australia. The local boy, Russell Ingall, in for second, and that was a great fight. Both guys would have loved that. JB puts the thumb up and says, how about that? As we get set, John Bow is ready. His first ever win at Mallala. And he's ready to do it again. Really enjoyed that first one. As we have a look at the grid, keep in mind these are the results of race one as well. Bow and Ingall start from row one, Lowndes and Perkins row two.
Row three, Dick Johnson with his son Stephen Johnson alongside Glenn Seaton moving up the order, and Mark Scaife is out of 8, but he'll start from the rear of the grid after that collision with Johnson.
Faulkner from 17th to 9th, Bright, Jones and Longhurst, the two teammates there, 11 and 12.
And we're just looking at the telemetry on board the Shell 18 Ford as he lets it loose.
Ingall, great start.
Away from the start, Ingall though gets a tremendous run. Out of the second position, he's gunned right in front of them. Bow squeezing for room with Craig Lowndes on the inside, but the Ford will get ahead as they swing through the Scotcher Complex. And the first time down the pit straight, Russell Ingall has him behind him.
Good start by Russell Ingall. Bow slots nicely into second. Stephen Johnson got away to a good start too there. The Wins boys working their way through. No carnage in the first couple this time round. It was good. Clean run through. So the two that were battling it out at the first one, Ingall and Bow, but reverse positions. Now Scaife has started rear of grid, so he's got a lot of work to do to come on through.
Yeah, so Ingall out on his own. That nice clean air, no one to disturb his lap times. Let's have a look at the Shell Helix replay. Garth Tander up the inside of Alan Jones. Alan Jones front spoiler, yep.
I want me to, please, man.
Whoa. Tips over.
Just peels it off. So now Jones has no front downforce. see that.
Lowndes has got JB up the inside. A beautiful move through Shell Sweeper.
Take your eyes off him for a
somebody
second.
off.
Steve Reed it was. It looked like the Lansvale car on the side. Plenty of smoke coming from underneath the bonnet as well.
Not the best place to go. They're so pretty quick.
It's going to be interesting to watch Craig Lowndes' lap times now that he is clear of John Bowe. See whether John was holding up. Well, he's opened up 2 or 3 car lengths already. So it's going to see if Lowndes now can chase down Russell Ingall. He said before he came into this round he had to adopt a slightly less conservative approach. He has been defending a points lead, but now that Russell is in charge, he's leading the points chase, Craig said he's going to have to be far more aggressive, and he's certainly doing it here. Look at this.
Have a look at the bunch behind too for the minor placing. Dick Johnson, his son Steve, Glenn Seaton, Jason Bright, they're all in there muscling it out. It's going to be great as this race goes on. Not even at the halfway mark, well, almost halfway now. 8 and a little bit laps down of 17, and Larry Perkins now starts to hassle John Bowe.
Yeah, now he finds himself back in this sandwich after all that hard work. Let's pump it out 6 seconds now. Ingall the lead over John Bowe. Look at Larry down the inside.
Larry's in a hurry.
And Lowndes on the inside of Dick Johnson too.
Oh, dear me.
Oh, now Bowe spun. Goodness me. He fries him up too as he tries to get back in the action. I don't know what happened there, but John Bowe will be furious about that. Tony Longhurst sneaks up the inside as well. Longhurst was running in 10th position, so that puts Bowe right to the back of the top 10.
What a difference a lap makes.
Yeah, and while these guys are sorting it out amongst themselves, Mark Scaife, just having a look out the commentary box window, is reeling these guys in so quickly, it's a joke. He is just hauling them in.
Well, he's right up behind John Bowe, who just spun, so Bowe's got Scaife behind him. He's going to try and pass Tony Longhurst. Here's the battle here.
There he is, back behind Bowe. Mark Scaife into the action from right back of the grid.
So Bowe finds himself back in 10th position, Scaife in 11th.
That's ridiculous.
What a topsy-turvy day. This will hurt John Bowe. You know, Craig Lowndes, a guy in his early 20s. Look at the performance of Johnson in this car. He's an absolute tiger. He's got battle damage all the way up and down the side of the car. And look at this one final time for Craig Lowndes. You can't get any closer than that. That's right.
You reckon Dick's going to take the inside line into this corner or what?
Yeah, I reckon you could be right there.
Well, we've got a bit of traffic coming up here. He ducks across to cover his ground, breaking right up the middle of the road. Lowndes looking for the fast way around, but he's going to go around the outside unless Johnson makes a mistake. And he's going to try up the outside too as they come through Pacific Waste turn. You can see him hoiking that inside wheel up. Maximum cornering effort. Or brake hard. Down the end of the back straight into Bridgestone for the final time. Lowndes has a look around the outside, but Johnson well positioned to defend.
Well, Dick Johnson is holding Craig Lowndes at bay while Russell Ingall grabs his very first win at Mallala here in South Australia. Russell Ingall will start from pole. Dick Johnson alongside Craig Lowndes and Glenn Seaton the second row.
Out of row 3, Jason Bright moving up. John Faulkner, good run there too. Stephen Johnson out of 7th. Now Mark Scaife, he's nominated to start out of 8th after finishing there in the second heat. But the team made a wrong or an incorrect choice on tyres, and they've considered to have infringed the rules. Now Scaife will start off the back of the field once again. He's having a shocker.
Longhurst, Bargwanna, Larkham and Bowe, those next 4 positions. The third and final race of the day. We've seen that the start is all important here at Mallala. Bowe's got the good inside run. Ingall comes across. They both get a good jump. Stephen Johnson got an unbelievable start on the outside, but it's going to be Russell Ingall. Oh, Bowe cuts the track. Trying to come through on the inside.
That's Johnson.
Dick Johnson it is.
Johnson just went straight across that curve. He didn't smash the sump under the engine. He certainly did some damage to the spoiler. You can see it just disintegrated as he flew across. Look at the damage to the car.
Look at the side.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Well, that was a bit of damage from earlier on, but look at that front spoiler.
It's not going to hang in there for long, is it? Faulkner's gone around the outside. Stephen Johnson has got the jump as John Faulkner rounds. Dick Johnson up now. Bright's in there. So too Jason Bargwanna. They come up the fast back sweeper. Steve Johnson's in 4th behind. Glenn Seaton up front. It's Russell Ingall, followed by Craig Lowndes, who got away to a great start.
So it reminds me of the days when Colin Bond switched camps from Holden over to Ford. It took a lot of getting used to seeing Crompton driving for the Blue Oval.
Seaton is catching Lowndes and Ingall.
Well, both Ford credit boys going very well. Crompton's only the second big name driver to switch camps. Tony Longhurst was the first. So there's only 2 guys changed since the inception of the V8 formula, and Scaife is hot in pursuit there as well.
Well, Dick Johnson, we've just heard from the pits, he's gone out with bent steering. That doesn't supply me. And Craig Lowndes.
Yeah.
Well, you take your eyes off them for a second, and he sneaks up the inside of Ingall. He is really enjoying an advantage here, and Seaton closes right in on the action.
This shows you the weather, what you were saying, Mark, how the Bridgestones are coming to their own. The temperature's gone up now, and the track's dried out in both the Bridgestone cars, and it's made a major difference.
Well, in the wet and the greasy earlier on today, we saw The Dunlop's totally dominating. Lowndes is comfortable now. He is out in front. He won the first 2 races in '96. He went on to win that round in the same year that he won the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. Ingles now being left behind, and he's going to have to tackle Glenn Seaton.
Look at this. John Bowe trying to find his way through Dunlop onboard Canberra. John Faulkner feeling the pressure from John Bowe as he continues this push toward the front, but he's been pretty static for the last few laps. He's locked there in 8th position because he's got a really high-speed train ahead of him. Faulkner, Bargwanna, Brighton, Stephen Johnson, Glenn Seaton.
But this is the man that's bringing it on home out of Bridgestone through the Shell S's. Well done, Craig Lowndes. He hasn't had the easiest day. A pretty tough one in race 1, but he comes across to take out race 3, the 3rd and final one today, and he's pretty delighted with that. Well, he said he's not getting cocky or not getting carried away, but it was a very positive day for Castrol's Russell Ingall. As he said, a couple of shockers here. Last year was certainly that. He got a couple of 5ths and then he crashed, but today was very consistent. He picked up not only his first race win, but his first round win, and he put 4 extra points on Craig Lowndes. John Bowe remains in 4th, but lost some valuable points after a tough day at the track. Perkins remains there in 4th, and so too Mark Scaife in 5th, and that's where the championship race ends. I think those top 5, that's where it's going to come down to. Let's go through the entire field and how they line up. As we said, for the 4th time this year, 4 from 7 on pole position for Mark Scaife, but can he put that into a good, solid race win or a race result? Russell Ingall starts alongside Lowndes and Johnson 3 and 4.
Out of row 3, look at that great qualifying effort from Jason Bargwanna, the youngster from Como in the Gary Rogers Motorsport Commodore. Great run in qualifying. Larry Perkins alongside him. Jason Bright always quick in qualifying, and John Bowe having a few problems with setup.
Glenn Seaton in 9th, Stephen Johnson another good effort in 10th, Paul Romano 11 and John Faulkner 12. You're looking at the current championship leader, Russell Ingall, from position 2. Alongside him is Mark Scaife in the 50 Mobil 1 HRT Commodore. We are set to do it here in West Australia. Ready to go. Scaife needs to get a good start. Go! Away we go. Russell Ingall just lines him off the line. How about that? And Craig Lowndes goes right around the outside, up into turn 1. They all take line and they get through cleanly, but how about Russell Ingall's start?
Can you believe that? Mark Scaife has been saying all year, I've got to go out to get this thing off the line. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. You could just see how pole position just dissolved the advantage just by getting off the line slowly.
Craig Lowndes from grid 3 also, what a great start, but Russell Ingall superb. That thing just launched off the line.
Local driver Garth Tander there didn't get the best of starts. He was swamped by the 2 Wins cars as they all flow on through. There's Tony Longhurst on the new Dunlop tyres trying to make a fist of it, but here is our race leader. That's John Briggs has gone in the Super Cheap Autos car. We get back to it. Ingall's leading this field through. They got away to a nice clean start. Off he goes. When we get back to it, have a look at Lowndes coming right up.
Well,
under brakes. How close is that?
We're on board with Russell Ingall.
He's got the inside drive. He's coming down the inside. He's got the line, and he's got Russell Ingall. What a move out of the corner down there.
Side by side at 240 kilometres an hour as they break hard for Yokohama. Craig Lowndes just a little bit more grip, a little bit more speed coming out of Colt that time.
Too easy, didn't it?
Yeah, Mark Scaife now joins in the battle. He'll be kicking himself. He can't get that car off the line as consistently as he wants to, but he's right back in the battle now. The Holden Racing Team, Mobil 1 sandwich with Russell Ingall. And they've got one in trouble, John Faulkner too.
So Russell Ingall now slips back to 2nd spot where they said if it's the conditions remain nice and warm and clear, the Bridgestones will work extremely well, and that's exactly what they're doing. We take the view from Russell Ingall's Castrol Commodore and Craig Lowndes, our new race leader.
Currently sitting at 2.8 seconds the lead between Lowndes and his teammate Scaife. Ingall now just sitting right in behind, and there he is. And there was some fears, and certainly among some of the Dunlop teams, that knowing the strength of the Bridgestone product here, they'd be struggling a little bit. And certainly as the day wears on, it could become quite a drama for them because of the speed of these 2 Holden Racing Team Commodores. They're really gapping them.
Craig Lowndes is well on the way to keeping his perfect record intact here at Barbagallo, although this is only race 1 of 3. Back in 1996 when Lowndes won the championship, he cleaned up in all 3 races here and obviously won the round. Now here's a replay of
Craig Lowndes coming through.
The overtaking move between Scaife and Ingall.
Russell went very wide. Obviously, Darcy Russell may have had something to do with that. Scaife's taken the advantage and got up the inside, and obviously the perfect line going into the first turn.
Positioned himself beautifully. And that's how it stands now. So it's Mobil 1 HRT 1 and 2, and they are pulling away from Ingall.
The gap is definitely getting bigger now. It's a fair old distance, probably 1 or maybe 2 seconds.
Well, That last one around was a slow one for Engel. He obviously had a slow exit speed out of that corner on a pit straight. We'll just check his time as he comes across right now. He's back into the 59s.
Well, here's Glenn Seaton really starting to give Larry Perkins a hurry along now. This is the battle for 5th and 6th. Perkins in front is sitting 5th. Glenn Seaton, who we ride with at the moment, is 6th. The story so far, if you've just joined us, it's a Mobil 1 HRT affair at the moment. Craig Lowndes is miles out in front. His teammate Mark Scaife, who started from pole, sits 2nd. John Bow and Jason Barguana have come into the pits. That's the way it stands.
As we see Craig Lowndes coming down to finish the last lap.
Good work. He started position 3, got an absolute bullet-like start and hasn't looked back. He went around the outside of his teammate, worked on Russell Ingall. And Craig Lowndes takes out race 1 here at Barbagallo. A great win for the 23-year-old. His teammate Mark Scaife comes in for a well-earned 2nd spot. Russell Ingall stayed there. Greg Crick spun at the back there.
And Glenn Seaton, here he comes now.
Coming through on Larry. Dick stays in there for 5th. Here's the run. Paul Romano's got past Jason Bright about a lap or so ago. So a good run there. But I guess you could say quite an easy run for the HRT boys. First one was a good one for Mobil HRT. It was a 1-2, and that's why they will share the front row. Craig Lowndes and Mark Scaife, that is. Russell Ingall out of 3 and Dick Johnson from 4.
Row 3 looks like this. Larry Perkins and Glenn Seaton moving up the order. Paul Romano and Jason Bright, the Pertec Ford.
Go back to 9. It was a good result for the young guy in front of his home crowd, Garth Tander. Steve Johnson in the top 10 as well. Faulkner out of 11, and Larkham worked his way up to 12. As we get set, race 2. It is an all HRT front row. Lowndes the inside, Scaife the outside. Now Lowndes got a rocket first time round. Away we go. The lights turn green, and again Lowndes gets away to a great start. Now Tander's off on the grass. So too is Larry Perkins. He rejoins the circuit. And incident-free, so they get around the first corner, no problem. Stephen Johnson going the outside line. Bright is squeezed in the middle there as well.
Boy, how many times have we seen that as they leap off the line here at Barbagallo? It's pretty narrow. We see cars going down and trimming the grass both sides. But thankfully, they're able to come through relatively cleanly as they head up over the hill for the first time.
Dick Johnson's giving Larry Perkins a nice working over. Larry's working pretty hard. Both Dunlop shot cars. Here's another good battle, as it was in the first race. The 2 Ford Bridgestone runners. That is Glenn Seaton in front of Jason Bright. Now, we saw Bright drop off in the first race, and Romano got through. Apparently, drastically flat-spotted a tyre from blocking it up, and decided that he just wanted to get the car home in one piece and just cruised around and conceded a position or 2. But he's back on the pace now, that's for sure. Sitting in 7th spot. Jason Bright in the Pertec Ford. You can see off in the distance behind him, there's Romano, and behind Romano is Garth Tander. Trevor Ashby in the Lansvale ICI Auto Colour Commodore. Battle scarred indeed from an incident on Friday, or rather Saturday morning.
Yeah, bit of a tangle or misunderstanding with Mark Scaife. Mark Scaife has been on the receiving end of the wrath of the officials. He has to pay a $3,000 fine for that little tangle.
Big change there. Jason Bright and Paul Romano have got in front of Glenn Seaton. So Bright is on a charge at the moment. The lap before last, he was the quickest out there. So he is certainly moving up on Dick Johnson. Paul Romano is having a very consistent day. Not quite sure what's happening with Seaton. He's moved back and just can't quite seem to stay with it. Lap 14 of 20. Now Jeff Kendrick's feeling the pressure from the rest of the field. Here they come, barging their way through. Barguana is up to 10th on the track.
Wow. Trying to pass Jeff Kendrick there, and he's just moved off into the dirt and the sand. Got to be careful too, that the tyres obviously very, very hot when they get on that sand. It really can upset things when you arrive at the next corner, so you got to be pretty careful to make sure you keep off the dirt and the sand around here.
So Lowndes continues to hold that gap at the front. 2.2 seconds. Jason Barguana. Yeah, he was running in 10th position.
That car's not going anywhere either. It's dug itself right into the sand. After moving up, just taken John Bow, and that's in a very, very bad position. They might even have to bring out a safety car for that one, I'm not sure.
That's pretty disappointing, isn't it? From 17th to 10th, and he is just going to be so disappointed with that as we go back on board with Glenn Seaton. Now he's got Garth Tander in front of him.
Ashby and Crick having a great ding-dong here. They're running in outright positions. 17th and 18th position on the track. And there's John Briggs. A good lineup of privateers, but here's the battle for the privateers. Greg Crick, the Trustbank Ericsson Commodore, feeling the heat from Trevor Ashby in the Dulux Auto Colour machine.
It's pretty funny the other day when some people saw Criggy and they said, Well, notice how you got back in the car nice and quick there, Greg, after Dean Croswell did so well last week at Malamar.
Well, it's a good machine.
Greg, when you're, I notice Craig's got the lights on now, just sort of showing the other guys that he's coming on through. As he comes across the line, the checkered flag is out. Craig Lowndes makes it a perfect score so far today, 2 from 2. And Mark Scaife, his teammate, gets in for second, Russell Ingall third. So a carbon copy of the first race there for the top 3 positions anyway. Now the grid for the third and final race. It's the HRT situation again. Craig Lowndes and Mark Scaife 1 and 2. Russell Ingall and Larry Perkins, they share the second row.
Dick Johnson and Jason Bright, the 2 Fords out of 5 and 6. Glenn Seaton and Garth Tander out of 7 and 8.
We go back to Stephen Johnson, who is consistently running in the top 10. He's been going very, very well from John Faulkner. Mark Larkham up to 11th and Alan Jones in 12. Gets set to do it. Third time here in Western Australia. Can Craig Lowndes repeat 96? We're about to find out. The revs really starting to climb up now. These big V8s are roaring their heads off. Set to go, the lights are on and we're away. Scaife gets away to a better start, but not quite as good as his teammate. Now they move over, Scaife's gone onto the infield. The Castrol cars move up, Ingall second, around goes Tander. Garth Tander has gone on the first turn. Well, how about that? The first 2 races have been pretty sedate, not this one.
Boy, oh boy.
Just carnage happening out there then. Mark Scaife moved over to try and cover himself from Craig Lowndes. It looked like Russell Ingall was already in the gap, and he didn't back off, and round Scaife, well, nearly ran around, and he's lost a lot of space.
Well, we'll see to watch the replay on that just a few moments' time, but we have got a real fight on our hands at the front of the field here. Let's look at that again on the replay. Well, it's a little bit later.
Tander.
A little bit later in the corner, but there was a real chain reaction happening just before that one.
Seaton and Brighton, there were a few others in that
Ashby
one there. It's pretty hard to see. Ashby did well to miss Garth Tander on the inside. Here's the top angle. It was Seaton that made contact with him, but it's pretty hard to tell what happened before that. So Garth Tander spun onto the infield. Now watch how close Trevor Ashby goes to him here. He got through quite easily, actually.
There is Dick Johnson coming back from his stop-go penalty. A jump start, apparently, for the Shell 17 Ford.
Kendrick's gone. He's out past the sand, the local driver trying to rejoin the circuit.
Whoa!
He's gone right around. Hang on to it, Jeff. He almost got collected by some of the guys coming through. That was a stroke of luck for him.
That'll be the star attraction at the next agricultural show.
Dick Johnson back in 23rd position, trying to fight his way back. Bargwanna is another big mover in the field too. He's clawing back. He's in 13th position and on the way up.
After a DNF from the last one, so he's come from the back. All those guys from the back are doing a sensational job. Here we go, 5th gear down the main street coming into Yokohama, up to 6th, 250 kilometres an hour, 7.5 on the rev counter. Accelerate out of here in 3rd gear, hard on the power. Very hard to get the power down early around that corner, but to get a good terminal velocity at the end of the straight, you've got to get through there well. Just following right up behind there, Pate, I think that is, or Hossack.
Just watching the triple imagery there, Murph. Really quick change into 5th, only for momentarily, then back down.
That's right. So obviously, if you stayed in 4th, you'd be on the rev limiter. So therefore, you've got to go up to 5th just for a very short time, just to make sure the engine doesn't sit there on the rev limiter for too long.
Fantastic pictures looking out the front of John Bowes' car. Shell 18 Ford.
Good to see Darren Hossack here, and a real boost for the Wins team. In fact, it's Darren Pate that John Bowes is following.
Whoa,
Here comes Tander.
Getting very, very tight, yeah.
He's followed John Bowes through that gap that Darren Pate left open. He's back on a charge after that disastrous start.
Incidentally, Bargwanna started 26th position and is now in 10th. He is the big mover.
And a big mover too is Craig Lowndes. Boy, oh boy, he's gapping Ingall here, 3.8 seconds. He's almost at the 4 seconds now, the lead over 2nd position. We go back on board with Glenn Seaton.
And Bright's just covering himself there a little bit, moving over. Yeah, down to the inside, but Glenn hasn't got the pace down the hill. See the car in front, the Putzek Falcon, moving around under brakes as late as he possibly can, onto the straight, using all the track over the curb. You can see Glenn up to 5th gear now, the light flashing on the dash. Oh, he's gone down the inside. This is going to be painful. That was going to end in tears. Oh, and Brighty's going to get stuck.
He can get out of there, can he?
Goodness me, Rod Nash.
And also Jeff Kendrick coming in and but Bright almost escaped and just got hammered.
That is a terrible end to that situation.
Yeah, you can see he was just trying to keep on the power to drive his way out of that bunker, then bang, Nash arrived.
That's really bad for Brighty. I mean,
yeah, he was having a good consistent run, wasn't he? Up to 5th position. Let's have a look at the Shell Helix replay.
Glenn's come down. Oh, he's given him the squeeze. That's a hard one to come in. Glenn was going pretty quick. He braked very late, and you've got to be very careful going to that corner. And
went through the Glen seat has been black flagged.
He's got the stop-go penalty, and then obviously the two guys coming.
Actually, he copped at both ends. He got Kendrick in the front, he got Nash in the back. That's done some damage. Let's have a look at that on the Shell Helix replay.
Watch Bright's brake lights. Glenn was later, and then he's come across to take his line. I would actually say that I think Bright probably stopped Glenn from going straight off.
Well, he was heading in there very, very fast. Now watch this, wait for it. He's trying to get out. He can see
them coming.
Ouch.
Oh, these guys have gone way too fast. Kendrick and Nash, I'm sure of it.
Well, here it is. The Mobil 1 HRT car. Craig Lowndes, he did it in 96. Whoa. And he does it again in spectacular style. Lowndes does it.
And the crowd goes berserk on the main straight just in front of our commentary box here. He's a popular boy. Russell Engel.
Scave sideways.
Right
trying to outdo his teammate, I think.
He's 3rd. Perkins will bring it home 4th. Everyone put your hands together for Craig Lowndes. The champagne's about to spray, and this championship's going right down to the wire.
Going right down to the wire, that's exactly what it is. And we've been talking about the margin at the top of the tree of being 8 points, and that's exactly what it still is, but they've reversed. Craig Lowndes regains the lead in this Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. Engel back to 2nd now. Now have a look at the next few positions, because Larry Perkins is up to 3rd, so too Mark Scape up to 4th. John Bowe unfortunately dropped from 3rd back to 5th. Time for the grid, and for the 14th time in his Shell Australian Touring Car career, Mark Scafe starts from the #1 Aussie. His teammate Craig Lowndes right alongside. Jason Bright, an excellent effort, the top Ford driver here today in qualifying, and Neil Crompton, an excellent 4th.
Out qualifying the boss, that's not a good move for long-term employment. Glenn Seaton right behind him. Russell Engel, he's 6th. That's the most he could get out of those Dunlops yesterday. John Faulkner and Jason Bargwan, a good run in 8th.
John Bowe was struggling on the Dunlop tyres back in 9th, and Murphy in the new VT Commodore in the top 10. Garth Tander, his best qualifying effort in 11th, and Larkham in 12th. It's a full grid of 32, the HRT front row. Let's see if Mark Scafe can get away to a good start. That's at the back of the grid, the green flag. Let's look to the front. Will Lowndes get another lightning start? Set, away we go! They get away to a good one. On the outside, it's Craig Lowndes, and through the middle, Glen Seaton.
Oh, look at Jason Bright! Bright
Engel
on the right-hand side.
Lowndes away to a beauty. Bright on the inside, so too did Russell Engel. He got a blind, and now Scafe tries to force his way back. But it's Jason Bright that will get the run through into 2nd spot. Scafe should be able to squeeze in there to 3rd, and around the outside, it's Engel.
Look at this big pack trying to shuffle through turn 1. Russell Engel said after qualifying yesterday he wanted to be up 3 or 4 off the grid, but he made on 2. Oh, they got pandemonium. Mazira's in there.
Flag. They'll have to. Oh, Jonesy right there.
One of the Shell Fords in there too. We can't see which one it is, but it happens so often on these openings.
Somebody stopped there too, Anthony Tratt.
Oh, they'll have to stop it, I'm sure.
Oh, no, they're all...
Oh, they're all...
Yeah, they're all still mobile. Dick Johnson gets back, but Alan Jones and Mazira is still stuck there. Hopefully he can get that going too, but right at the front, Craig Lowndes continuing that amazing starts in this Mobil Commodore. He absolutely shot off the line, left the pole position man, Mark Scafe behind him, and then Scafe back in the pack trying to pick up ground as they come flashing past the straight for the first time. 250 kilometres an hour, braking hard for turn 1, about 150 metres out. Jason Bright in 2nd position. Well, this is a situation Russell Engel wanted to avoid after that battle he had with Mark Scafe at Barbagallo Raceway. He didn't want to get stuck in behind the 2nd of the Holden Racing Team Commodores, and he's there now. Shell Helix replay from the back of Jason Bargwana's Commodore. Look at the pack shuffling around. There's the new VT Commodore in the sandwich there. Murphy on the outside. Seaton holding his ground. Woof. So typical of a first corner with these V8 Supercars. 32 in all, trying to shuffle through a very narrow bit of tarmac. Look at that.
Oh, look.
Crompton.
Well, John Faulkner started in the top 10 in 7th position, and he is not in the top 10 at the moment. So, in fact, he is back in 15th position, so he went backwards big time. As Mark Scafe has, by the looks of it, a big gap there now to Jason Bright. So, it's opened up there.
Oh, look at a fire.
Oh, look at the fire.
Looks like there's just maybe a rubbing bodywork there with the damage on the rear quarter panel of John Faulkner's better electrical car. That's a shame because John was going very well in qualifying. He was fast here all week. Unfortunate for Thomas Mazera too. He's been taken out of the race with a bent differential housing after that accident. That's a great shame for the Wins team. Thomas just taking Darren Hossack's seat momentarily while they do a bit of sorting on the cars, but Darren will be back in the cars for the long distance races. So Freddie Gibson's boys will be working overtime to get that rear suspension sorted out for Heat 2.
This is the battle for 14th, 15th and 16th. Tony Longhurst in the Castrol 4.
Oh,
it's him!
Romano.
Around goes Tony. Well, he won't be happy with that. Paul Romano was caught up with an incident at Barbagallo in Perth not long ago with Danny Osborne, and well, unfortunately he's been involved in one again with Longhurst, so
that won't be a good atmosphere in the courtroom because he's got a hearing coming up on Wednesday over that incident at Barbagallo. Now he's been involved in another one. Let's have a look at that on the replay.
Oh, dear me. I mean, that's not going to go down very well with his hearing, is it?
Well, it's not going to go down well for Paul either. He's just been given a stop-go penalty. We hear from race control.
There's been a battle going on for those minor placings between Jason Bright, Mark Scaife and Russell Ingall as well. Here is the replay amongst traffic. Scaife did a beautiful outside manoeuvre coming out of the right-hander, through over the back section, through the S's and up into that second spot. Through that traffic, that was an excellent effort by Mark Scaife.
Yeah, what happens when you get stuck in traffic like that? The guy that's that's leading the bunch is the one with all the trouble, because you give the wake-up call, and then people start to get out of the way, and the guy that's behind you has the best opening usually.
That was really threading the needle, wasn't it? Very finely judged. We're back on board with Russell Ingall. He picks his way through the slower traffic. Melrose, some of the privateers there on the... Oh, well, you quite often see this, but the trouble is the privateers are running on that Yokohama control tyre. It's not nearly as fast a tyre as the level one, so as much as the privateers try and stay out of their way, sometimes they're just really struggling for a bit.
Oh, look at that's a major.
Simon Ermazidis.
Big time.
He's had a big hit.
Wow, he has definitely hit something very hard with that.
That's got to be the wall, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has to be, just look at the amount.
Here we go.
Straight on into the wall, it has to be.
Now he's got out on the loose stuff. Oh no, it was
Gary Cortley.
Boy, that's surprising. You would never have believed another car could have done that much damage.
Watch the level of impact here. Gets it sideways. Here we come. What was it?
Yeah, Gary Cortley.
Yeah, Cortley's car. Good.
Well, actually,
that's a real good one.
Well, let's watch that gap between Lowndes and Scaife. Scaife chomped about 4/10 of a second out of Lowndes' lap time that last time around, got it down under 4 seconds, but now it's out to 5.08, so Lowndes has responded. A 57.1 to Scaife's 57.4. And Lowndes really controlling this from the front of it, as we've seen so many times in V8 Supercar.
Whoa! Locked her up.
Get it back on there. He's going to lose that spot to John Bow. Bow comes through on the inside. All the hard work that Garth Tander... No, he's been able to hang on to it. Good work. I was just about to say the hard work because he's come from 9th up into 7th and he's dropped it up the inside of Bow. This is good stuff, and there's Greg Murphy in the VT right behind. So now we've got a four-way battle courtesy of Garth Tander running off the circuit.
Oh, a bit of damage here too. Look at the front of the VT, all stoved in. He won't like that. Greg driving his brand new Holden at Calder this week into some body damage to the front grille section. Well, can you believe the performance of this young man? He's won 10 rounds of 17 shell rounds contested. That was back in 1996, and including this year. That is a phenomenal winning ratio. Now he's going to boost that up.
Oh, Ingall's gone.
Ingall! Goodness me, that's down the end of the main straight. That's down the end of the main straight. He's gone
way off.
Under brakes.
He was out behind the fence.
That was a major late braking move there, I would say.
Oh boy, that's really going to hurt. Wonder where he's going to end up. He was running in 4th position.
Well, with that close bunch, that wasn't too far behind. I'd say he may even be out of the top 10.
Maybe out of the top 10. Oh.
So, Craig Lowndes takes out race 1. Well done to the birthday boy. That's a good way to start his day. And his teammate Mark Scaife will come in for 2nd spot. Well done to Mark also. He had to fight hard to get past Jason Bright and certainly reduce that gap between himself and his teammate. Jason Bright, the top Ford runner home, and congratulations to Jason Bargwanna as well in the top 5 in 4th position. Glenn Seaton in the Ford Credit Falcon got there for 5th. Let's have a look at the grid for race 2. Here is Dick getting set. It wasn't such a happy race for the first one. He finished in 17th position and he's got a lot of work to do in the second. Lowndes and Scaife from the front row, Bright and Bargwanna 3 and 4.
Glenn Seaton and Garth Tander 5 and 6. John Bow and Neil Crompton out of 8.
Greg Murphy, Larry Perkins 9 and 10. The VT boys, Russell Ingall and Mark Larkham 11 and 12. We are set. Will Lowndes get another rocket-like start? Wait and see. Odds on favourite. He gets it. Schaefer stalled it. Schaefer stalled on the line. Now he gets going again. So he got the jump, a reasonable jump, but then stalled. It's Craig Lowndes. Well, is it Craig Lowndes? No, it's not. It is Jason Bargwanna into the first corner from one of the Ford credit cards on the side.
Look at this! Oh, it's Steve Ellery straight on there.
Well, you can see him getting all sorts of drama there in the Young Lions. Commodore, he managed to straight line it down the end of the straight. Oh boy, but that was a real mix-up for the Mobil 1. Holden Commodores having all sorts of dramas off the line. Mark Scaife was left there, and Lowndes has been shuffled right back in the pack. So we've got the Valvoline Cummins Commodore of Jason Bargwanna leading them down the back straight for the first time.
Well, he must have got a rocket-like start as well, because Lowndes got away to a good one, but it's Bargwanna. Then we go back to Glenn Seaton. We pick up Lowndes from Jason Bright. Then we go back to Russell Ingall. He's done extremely well to come through the field from where he started also. Onto the main straight now. It is Jason Bargwanna. He is having the V8 race of his career if he can stay where he is. Now let's have a look at the start. On your right, Scaife stalls it.
Stalled without any shot. He's so lucky he didn't get collected from the rear. Look at that.
There's Bargwanna. Just got a quick shot of him slipping up the side as well, so he did get a brilliant start.
Scaife. I bet he's kicking himself.
Well, Bargwanna really saw his opportunity. Crompton apparently has been pinged for a jump start.
That's not so bad for Craig to get a bad start. Well, not a bad start exactly, because at least it puts some interest into the race for him, because when you start off and you've got a good lead, it gets very, very boring. But now at least he's having to think about it.
Ingall all over the back of Glenn Seaton as well. This is the battle for 4th and 5th. Ingall sitting in 5th position. He was very disappointed with the result in the first race. It wasn't his fault, though, a front brake line failure. He is now hassling Glenn Seaton, but Cito's got plenty of speed down the main straight.
Oh, GJ! Oh, he's got a fire happening under there too. There's one right under the back of the car. Oh, he's had a big tangle there somewhere, front damage, and he's got a fire underneath. Hope the marshals get onto that before it turns into a major barbecue. Dick getting out. There's the marshals on the scene. I don't know what happened there, but he's really been caught up in a tangle. But Dick's okay.
JB had a disastrous day at Barbagallo, John Bow in Perth. Now it's Dick's turn, I guess. It hasn't been a happy weekend for the Queenslander. We get back to the action now. You can see it in the background. The leader's coming through. But Lowndes is right on him. Here's a replay. Mark Scaife working his way through the field.
Whoa.
This is the incident.
Mark Poole getting all tangled up there. There's one. Oh, it's Johnson. Whoa. Look at that. Now, Mark Poole, did he manage to keep it off the concrete? No, he's just giving it a bit of a whack. Johnson's car really igniting there. Not sure what caught on fire, but he looks like he's okay. This really is maximum pressure driving, isn't it? Look at the gap. Bargwanna and Lowndes, they've opened up about 2 seconds on Jason Bright, who's running a bit more of a lonely race in 3rd. And there's 5 seconds now. Back to this battle between Seaton, Ingall and Bow. They're slowing each other up. Larkham sitting back there in 7th position.
Well, he's trying his hardest. Russell Ingall, he hasn't necessarily done anything wrong. He's just doing the best with what he's got here at the moment. But Craig Lowndes is doing better. We've got to keep a close eye on that in terms of the championship with only 2 rounds left. Hidden Valley is the next round. Oh! He and Hislop there in a bit of with some problems on the infield. Can't quite see who else was involved. There was another car though.
Look at Ingall. He just mucked up his exit there. There is an opportunity for the really gung-ho drivers to sneak down the inside under the Goodyear bridge there and muscle your way, push your competitor to the outside of the track. There he is, our race leader, Jason Bargwanna.
Oh, he's not so far in front of Craig Lowndes.
Well, he is feeling maximum pressure here. This really is pressure driving. He's got the 1996 Shell Australian Touring Car Champion and the championship leader this year.
The thing is, Mark, if he can sort of come through this unscathed and beat Craig Lowndes, maybe he'll get that sort of monkey off his back from Bathurst, you know, because nobody's ever forgotten that. You really feel sorry for him.
Well, there's never been any doubting his speed, and there's certainly his commitment. And if he can pull this race win together, it'll be a tremendous boost for him. Even if he doesn't win, it's still a great drive by the youngster. He's got a lot of years ahead of him, and he really has proved his mettle here.
A few significant people have had their first wins here at Calder too. Glenn Seaton back in 1987, I think it was, had his first race win here, and so too did Russell Ingall in 1996. So Bargwanna could get his debut V8 Supercar race win under his belt in just a lap and a half's time if he can hold off the current points leader, Craig Lowndes, as he comes right up on him now. So that makes you think whether Lowndes was maybe playing with Bargs just a little bit.
Well,
he had it under control the whole way, perhaps. We'll have to wait and see.
I don't think so. I think he's just he's pushing Jason to try and make Jason make a mistake. You know, I'm sure at the end of the straight, Jason's going to be at the inside and cover his line and that. And
I've got to say, I'm really impressed with the exit speed of that Valvoline car out of that critical corner onto the main straight. He's really matching the factory car there. He's got plenty of horsepower in a straight line. Chevy's put together by Mike Axel. And they're doing the job.
It'll be an anxious last lap for Jason Bargwanna as Lowndes gets it sideways. Oh, has a look on the inside through the S's. He's working hard and hits him. There's Bargwanna a couple of times. Down over the hill they go through the flip-flop, the fastest change in direction on this track. This is the run home. It's an anxious moment for the 26-year-old Bargwanna. Can he hang on just a little bit more? He's got to come around this series of corners.
Look at the racecraft he's applying. Lowndes gets a slap of opposite lock on there as he catches it. One more chance here as they come under the Goodyear Bridge. He can't do it.
He won't do it.
If Bargwanna gets a clean run out of here, he may have one more crack at him across the start finish line.
Jason's got it.
Well done, Jason Bargwanna. The Valvoline Cummins Commodore comes across the line for the win, and Jason Bargwanna wins his first ever V8 race. The 26-year-old from Melbourne, well done.
Well, you should have put money on that, Dev. Look at that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a man who loves to win a motor race. Look
Don't
at
give me the lotto numbers, do you, Lee?
Look at that. I am the greatest.
They call him Copacabana, Jason Bargwanna. He'll be doing a bit of partying now.
And look at that. He is absolutely ecstatic. Lowndes comes up, sportsmanlike, gives him the wave.
That was really, really a good drive, wasn't it?
And this is Greg Murphy in the new VT Commodore going out and testing the circuit a short time ago after we had this huge downpour here at the circuit. Officials have been out, Tim Schenken from CAMS, and it seriously was a very bad situation. And, well, we must say it has never happened in the history of the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. This race has been cancelled. There's some scenes from Calder Park. Let's have a look at the championship points because it's quite interesting. From 8 points at the start of the day, Craig Lowndes has streaked it out to 34 over Russell Ingall. The only other things to look at there, I guess, is Jason Bright has well and truly got 6th now, and Bargwanna is up into to 9th position. Well, speaking of a good run, someone who had a great run in qualifying was Pertec Ford driver Jason Bright.
Oh, for sure. We've been saying all year that Hidden Valley's our best opportunity. No one will have an advantage on us because they've been here before, and our car's just been fantastic all weekend. The guys have done such a great job. We've had a really good car since the start of Calder, and we've been in the top 3 ever since the first session at Calder, and I'd just like to give this one to the guys because they've been working really hard.
Yeah, he certainly did it well as we check the Shell Helix grid for you. Jason Bright, for the first time ever, starts from pole position from championship leader Craig Lowndes. Mark Scaife out of 3. He had quite a bad accident in qualifying. Jason Bargwanna starts out of 4.
Good run from Mark Larkham in the Mitre 10 Ford. He's up in 5th position alongside John Bowe. Tony Longhurst, good run from him too. And the Castrol Ford, and Russell Ingall, our championship chaser, he's back in 8th.
Go back to 9, his teammate Larry Perkins and Glenn Seaton rounding out the 10. Faulkner and Ellery, they share 11 and 12. We are set to go. The first time ever in the Northern Territory. Hidden Valley is set to erupt. There is a huge crowd here at Hidden Valley, and we are set just seconds away. Away we go. Bright got away to a beauty. Lowndes bobbed it down off the line. That's what Jason Bright needed as they head down. Seaton's gone out wide, and Russell Ingall's come right through, and Bargwanna, they've gone around. Scaife's got the lead into the first corner.
Unbelievable, the tight stuff. Look at that. We were waiting for that.
I was waiting for that one to happen.
35 V8s trying to shuffle into that first turn. You can see they were getting ready to muscle each other. Look at them. They're going all over the place.
Somebody in the inside there, it was 11, Larry Perkins. He's been spun, and it looked like Bowe went out also, so plenty of contact in the first turn. It's Mark Scaife who leads the way. It looked like Mark Larkham got up in the second spot from Jason Bright. Ellery is well placed, and there is Perkins stuck in turn 1. Now he gets going.
And Craig Lowndes got an absolute terrible start. He bogged it down, didn't get away well. He's back in about 6, just got past Stephen Ellery. So he's making progress, but way back in the field, Russell Ingall is ahead of him at this stage.
Well, Russell did a superb job. He took maximum advantage of that. He thought he'd jump up a few positions at the start. Look at him, he's up in 4th position after starting 8th.
What about Mark Scaife? He doesn't qualify pole and gets a blinder, leads into turn 1.
Changed it around, hasn't it?
Well, he set after qualifying yesterday, he had a rotten rotten run in qualifying. When third's not a rotten run, but he crashed the car as well. And he said, well, maybe the fact I've got a bad qualifying run is going to give me a bit of luck in the race.
More than that, have a look who's sitting in second spot. Mark Larkham in the Mitre 10 Falcon as we have a look for the replay.
So we've gone down, someone's dived to the inside. It's Larry Perkins, locked it up. You can see him spinning right on the inside. Bargwanna's gone, Bow's gone. Larry really went in too fast by the looks of it from where we're sitting. And look at the traffic jam behind him. Everyone's trying to find a way past. They're all recovering. Bargwanna recovers last, Bow on the outside. This time we see it, and I would say Bargwanna, yep. Larry, Russell Ingall looks like he's tapped the back of Bright, who's turned Bargwanna around.
And you couldn't see behind Russell. There's a whole chain of cars behind him, so it could have been a huge domino effect going in there.
It was definitely a big domino effect. Bargwanna tried to recover as quick as he could.
Meanwhile, Scaife just cruises out. Pertec Ford driver Jason Bright looking for every opportunity. They're all starting to bunch up now behind Larkham as we have a look at the triplemetry working away there. This is on Russell Ingall's car. Have a look at this battle now for second, third and fourth.
Well, Larkham had some engine dramas yesterday. They made an engine change overnight, and looks like maybe holding up the bunch here. Mark Scaife's taking full advantage of that too. A 1:10.87 that time around. Larkham a 1:11.1. So Scaife's starting to build it. He's got it up to over 2 seconds now.
Can't get any closer than this. Russell really looking for a way past. Oh, he's underneath him now. And denies contact ground. And here comes Craig Lowndes, who should get a great run on the straight, which he does. He's benefited from this greatly. Bright's trying to recover. He's doing circles.
Well, a really aggressive move by Russell Ingall down the inside, coming onto the main straight. You can see the contact there between the Pertec Ford and the new Castrol VT. There's Ingall now.
Craig Lowndes down the inside of Russell Ingall. And I'm telling you, Russell Ingall would have seen Craig Lowndes catching up. He knew he had to make a move on Jason Bright as soon as he possibly could. I don't really think turn 9 was a good place to be doing it.
This is great for Mark Larkham, the Gold Coast resident, the 34-year-old, the big open wheeler background, a former Australian Formula Ford champ. And, well, he's been waiting a long time for this. A good result I'm talking about. He's had quite a dreadful year. He's been struggling with setup and trying to do a few different things. At least he hasn't had as many accidents as he has in the past, and this will certainly put a smile on his dial.
And he's easily pulling away from Tony Longhurst at the moment also, so his gap is getting bigger. He's losing a little bit of time to Craig Lowndes, but doing a good job there in third spot.
I don't think I've ever seen a guy who works harder for his sponsor too. They think of the Mitre 10 setup. There's something like 500 stores across the country. He'll coordinate the whole deal. He does a lot of it himself, and he's very, very active on the sponsor front. The Mitre 10 Ford, they've stuck in with him and good on him because the car proving its competitiveness here at Hidden Valley.
This is it. They're on their way home. The two Mobil 1 HRT Commodores. Mark Scaife, who sits fourth in the championship, is going to be so delighted with this as Craig Lowndes turns up the heat. Sitting in second spot there, it's going to be a Mobil 1 HRT 1-2. You know what that feels like, Murph? So we've got just one corner and about 500 metres to run.
It's great for the VT, and the guys have been working very, very hard to get this going well, and as they come up for a formation finish.
Excellent stuff. Across the line they come now. He's going to let Craig win. Comes across. What, Scaife's got problems, has he? He's slowed right down.
There's smoke coming out of the back of his car, and Craig Lowndes has actually just taken the win on the line.
We have a look at the grid for race 2, and these are the finishing positions. Now, Lowndes and Scaife are there, but you can take them out of the equation because if they get going, they'll have to start from pit lane. So it's a Larkham-Longhurst front row, essentially.
Can you believe that? Paul Romano and John Faulkner there too. Jason Bright, Glenn Seaton, Alan Jones, Steve Ellery out of 12. Queuing up, and there is Jason Bright.
Well, he did so well to come back after he tangled with Russell Ingall, spun, and then worked his way back through the field exactly like Jason Bargwanna did. But the steward's ruling that it was an unfair move on Dick, and he was to be put to the rear of the grid. Here's a guy who didn't have such good luck. We are set to go.
Watch Russell Ingall, boy, oh boy, will his eyes be on.
Ready, Larkham the inside, Longhurst the outside. Watch the lights, away we go! Larkham gets away to a good start, so too Longhurst and Bargwanna through the middle. Now someone's missed the start there, that's Jones. Alan Jones looks like he is pulled over to the side.
Look at Jason Bargwanna looking down the inside of Larkham, who's covering his line. Jason Bargwanna into second spot.
That's an awesome start. We look back because Bargwanna started from 8th, so he's made up 6 positions off the start.
Now that'll be interesting to see if he did get away cleanly or did jump it. We're not quite sure, but what a great start. He's lying in second place right now.
Larkham is just on a 1:11.05, and Bargwanna in pursuit of 1:10.88, so it's very tight at the front. John Faulkner forecasting a lot of Bifford barge this weekend, and so far it's proved. Can you believe the drama down at the Mobil 1? Holden Racing Team garage. Both cars sitting in there, not starting for Heat 2. You could not have ridden a better script.
I'll tell you who's done a tremendous job also is Garth Tander in the Gary Rogers Valvoline Commodore. He's come from 22nd to 9th. He's sitting just behind this battle there. There he is, just flashed through the screen. So Tander's on a hot one at the moment as well. Just on the back of Larry Perkins, and we work our way forward to Glenn Seaton. There's a long way back there behind Bright. We pick up Dick Johnson. This is the battle outside of the top 10. This is 11, 12, 13.
Jason Bright, if you look there, Larry just covering his line. He saw him coming in there, moved over the left as Larry gives Glenn a bit of a hurry up, a bit of a tap up the bum and trying to get him out of the way. As Brighty looks at the back of the Castrol Commodore, but he'll be really keen to make a move. But obviously he's got that the exclusion in the back of his mind. He won't want to be making another mistake either.
Well, they always thought there'd be plenty of fisticuffs and tears here. Been working the Clark, of course, and the Stewards overtime already in Heat 1, Heat 2, just as active. Russell Ingall there fighting for his championship life. If he can win this race, and Lowndes scores no points, that'll be 40 points he'll make up on Lowndes. That's really going to close the championship.
Here goes Bright. Down the inside. Larry's moved right over. Bright's got the inside running. He'll make the move on Larry this time. Moves over.
Jason Bright coming in back with the front of Larry Perkins' car. They come into turn 1. Larry backs off just a little bit, but Bright on another big charge. So he moves up into 11th position now, starting from rear of grid.
And that could have been a big accident there if Larry hadn't backed off or moved over, because Jason Bright got tapped in the rear. He's made another spot, up to 10th spot this time. So his next victim looks like Glenn Seaton.
Russell Ingall saying that it's been a real education learning to drive this VT, because any moves that you made, any changes you made to the VS Commodore, just do not work on the VT, and I'm sure that you know all about that, Murph, from Corba.
Exactly. Now we've got Russell right behind, but I don't think the VT has the speed yet down the straight, and Bargwanna holding him up, but he's right behind. He closes up, under brakes to the outside. Bargwanna right down the inside to cover the line. And he's underneath him. What a great move that was.
Well,
excellent.
That was the intimidation, wasn't it? He was right up behind him. You could see Jason Bargwanna moved across to cover his territory, maybe a little bit deep under brakes.
Definitely went a bit deep under brakes and just went past the apex of the corner. Barg's having a look at him coming back. Now Mark Larkin's going to have the pressure on him from the enforcer now in a lap or so.
Now keep in mind,
Bargwanna having a look up the inside.
Keep in mind too, if Ingall can win this race, that'll put him on pole position for Heat 3. If Lowndes can get going, he'll have to start off the back of the grid. This is fascinating stuff.
Russell Ingall is just one spot away from 40 points as he comes right up on Larkham now.
Look
if he can get the draft, as he comes onto this 1.1 kilometre main straight, the enforcer has come from 13th position on the grid. He could be going one better and lead.
Now look at Larkham moving right over to the left to block that line. Russell Ingall, the Falcon, just a little bit extra power under brakes and holds it. We'll see if he makes the same mistake as Jason Bargwanna. No, the Falcon sits on the line. Larkin doing a great job. The enforcer is punishing today.
Well, if he's going to grind him down, he's got plenty of time to do it. Only lap 9 of 17, he can set up this position. He doesn't want to make the same mistake he made.
Here he goes,
comes up the inside, he's got him too. Russell Ingall, can you believe this? From 13th position on the grid, through to lead Heat 2, while Craig Lowndes, his main adversary and title leader, is sitting in the garage. This championship is on fire.
Well, he's far from over, isn't it?
He lined that up from a long way back. He knew exactly where he was going to go in and get the move. How often have we seen Russell Ingall do this?
This man is just awesome, isn't he? When the chips are down, we really thought his championship was over. There's a great carve up here between Bargwanna and the Mitre 10 Ford. He'll try and hang on the inside as they head down toward this corner onto the straight.
Someone's gone into the wall at the back there as we have a look at Bow, comes up into the action as well. Well, people said this track reminded them a little bit of Winton in terms of the tightness of the curve. We had our best racing from Winton this year, and how about it here in the NT? It's really turning it on. Wind their way around on lap 12 of 17, but we're going to see things slow down as they are right now. The safety car is out on the circuit. I don't know if these guys actually know yet or not. So we head on around. Russell Ingall was just clearing out 2.82 seconds. Can you believe it? Almost 3 seconds. There's Bargwanna on the inside. So these guys definitely don't know the safety car's out on the circuit. As they continue on, and we've seen no sign of it. That was just word through from race control. Yes, we can see out of our commentary box. It is over on the back side of the circuit, opposite to where the guys are now.
There's the yellow flags. Maybe the yellow flags went out until that car got to that point.
No, they definitely were. So Jason Bargwanna has actually passed under the yellow flag, I would say.
Gee. That's why Larkham opened the door and let him through. He's going to be punished for that.
Well, it's looking like a golden day for Mark Larkham, isn't it? Third and a second if he can remain where he is. He's looking very good for a podium finish. But how about Russell Ingall? How about HRT? The Mobil 1 boys sitting in their garages, both with their own separate problems. So we have a look at Bargwanna now.
He just had his hand out the window, which he may have just waved Larkham back past. We'll have to wait and see when we go outside. But
well, Ingall will be a little bit steamed about this. He forced his way through to the front. He was building up a bit of a cushion there. He got it out to 4 seconds before that safety car came out. So now he's got to do it all again. Lights are off
on the pace car, yep. So they're going to go green for 2 laps.
Well, looks like they're going to leave Ellery's car nailed into the wall there. Was there under racing conditions. I don't consider that too much of a safety hazard at this stage. The pace car peels off and away we go. Russell Ingall's going to lead the charge down to turn 1. We've got 2 laps remaining. And he has got the lights and the eyes on.
Have a look at Romano and Bow. Romano tucked right in behind John Bow, looking for a way past to snatch that 4th spot. Russell Ingall, Bargwanna looking for an inside option, but he's about 3 car lengths behind going into turn 1. This is a quick sprint. It's a 2-lapper to home. The checkered flag will be out, and Russell Ingall hang on to the lead and gather 40 points. Well, for the Territorians up here in Darwin who had never seen V8 Supercar racing, they are seeing one of the best days that we've seen. Such tight, close racing as now Bright pushes up on Paul Romano. We go back to the battle for the lead. Bargwanna on the inside of Russell Ingall, trying to deny him a win as we go up on board with Russell Ingall. This is the run to home coming into the main straight. Ingall should be able to hang on. It's the run to the line. Bargwanna won't have enough. Russell Ingall from 13th to 1st. He takes the win and puts himself right back into contention for this championship. The gap is back to 20 points. Awesome stuff. Just incredible.
What a finish.
Believe it.
That is unbelievable. Bargwanna having a go at him on the last lap and nearly pulled it off. Mark Larkham home 3rd. Another good result for him. But wow, what a finish at the front of the field.
What a colossal battle. Well, they're still going, so there's been something with our lap count. Apologies there, because the information we were getting is that they've extended it. Well, word just through from race control, it's been extended. So, it's not over by a long shot yet.
John Bow sideways and knocked Larkham around.
Oh, wow.
Turn Mark Larkham around. Oh. It's definitely not over yet.
I can't believe the amount of pedal damage we've got here. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. The V8 Supercars turning it on in the territory. And Russell Ingall now really feeling the pressure from our Calder Heat 2 winner.
He hasn't been able to pull away from Jason, so this is just all on. It's going to go right down.
Well, that is amazing. I mean, he was able to build that cushion in the early part of Heat 2. Now Bargwanna's staying right with him.
The safety car laps obviously haven't been counted. We've been counting them. They weren't counted, which is bizarre because they usually do.
They normally do count safety car.
Have a look at this. This battle is far from over. Bargwanna on the inside. He's not giving up, this little terrier. The 26-year-old who picked up his first win at Calder in the last round, trying to get past Ingall, but he couldn't get through that time, and he's in fact lost ground as they come through on Darcy Russell.
20 laps for this race distance. There has been a real mix-up with that safety car out there and all sorts of things going on, but this is the final lap.
How about who's sitting in 3rd spot now? Tony Longhurst. It's a great day for him. Just gone through screen, and Garth Tander is up into 4th.
And look at the panel damage on the front of that car. He's been in contact with a fair few people this morning, or this afternoon.
Well, have a look at the panel damage on nearly every car.
Yeah, that's a good point.
This is a fantastic day for Gary Rogers Motorsport, the Valvoline Cummins team. He's got his 2 boys, 2 young guns running 2nd and 4th. What a great result for them after the tremendous highs at Calder.
Well, this is it. We are on our way home. Well, for the 2nd time, we should say.
I've never seen a race like this. This is unbelievable. But it looks like Russell Ingall's going to bring it home. There he is, lights ablaze. Jason Bargwanna right behind him, but he's not going to catch him.
Well, excellent stuff. The hand out the window, and Russell Ingall, we can say now, does take that 40 points. I'm sure he can't believe what's happened. Look at him just saying to himself, yes, yes, I've done it, you beauty.
And the championship is well alive. It's far from over, I think.
We go back and have a look at the grid for race 3. Russell Ingall and Jason Bargwanna off row 1. Tony Longhurst, who incidentally leads the day's points and could win this round, from Garth Tander in 4th.
Well, it's a real upset, isn't it? Paul Romano, he's running 2nd in today's points overall. He may be on the podium as well. Glenn Seaton moving up through the order. John Bow in 7th. Larry Perkins will start out of 8th.
We take it back. Dick Johnson, he's been in the thick of things today. And how good's Mark Poole going? The South Australian is in 10th from Thomas Mazera and Darren Pate. That's great for the wins, boys. We are set for a start. Well, it's all fallen into Russell Ingall's hands. Green flag at the back. We are set to go. Race 3 here at Hidden Valley. Away we go. Now Ingall sort of double started there. He sort of went and stopped and went again. Barguana looked like he got away to a good one as the field follow on through. No, it's Ingall. He leads this pack. Now it's the 2 Valvoline cars. Tander on the inside. Barguana on the outside, and Seaton goes for the big run. Right around the outside of Barguana. Tander's through into second.
3 by 3 as they come through turn 1. Paul Romano shuffling up there too. He was in 5th position through that first hectic turn. Oh, there's a tangle back in the pack. Look, they're going everywhere.
Greg Crick's involved in that, so too it looks like Mark Toole. There's 5-6 cars involved in that one. There's Jeff Kendrick. Who else is it? One of the Wins cars. Can't quite see, and that's Rod Nash also.
Look at the damage on the back of Darren Pate's Commodore. Look at that. He's had another stove in there, just like John Faulkner. Boy, there's been some panel damage today.
Look at the oil coming out of Pate's car, laying on the track.
Oh, it's Jason Bright.
Jason Bright. Goodness me.
Well, that concludes a disastrous day. Oh, that's Rod Nash's bonnet coming up there.
Well, that car, Jason Bright's car, very badly damaged. You can see the rear of it also has hit the tyre wall, or someone's hit it.
It's going to have to be a red flag situation.
Red flag for sure.
Red flag means they have to stop the race.
And that could help young Craig Lowndes too, because that means he can start from the back of the grid.
Wow. Now confirming, getting back to a point from the previous race, while we look at this as Bright gets out, we have had it confirmed that under the pace car rules, the first 5 laps do not count. So we do have a red flag situation in this race. We've just received the word from race control. Red flag in this one. There's a lot of cars out of action for this one. There's the 2 HRT cars. Now Lowndes will start from his original position. We get set to rock and roll again. Ready, third and final time. Barguana got the jump on Lowndes. No doubt about that. We watch the rest of the field stream on through, but Barguana got away to a ripper. Now Ingall's got the inside run into the first left-hander. That puts him in the prime spot. Tander's back there in third. Seaton's up there by the looks of things. Let's hope we get through unscathed this time.
Oh, Tony Longhurst right over on the inside, coming up the curbs into turn 1. He got really squeezed on the inside. Looks like he's survived. Yeah, there he is, 4th in the order. As Russell Ingall starts to open that gap, he wants to win this one. And look at the whole racing team steamroller coming through straight away.
Great battle happening here. Longhurst, Seaton, Perkins. This is from 3rd right back through about 8th.
Yeah, just been doing some sums on the podium too. Quite interesting, won't it? If they finish the way they are at the moment, it'll be Longhurst first, Barguana second, and Ingall third. Now look at Tony.
What's he doing with his arm out the window?
Yeah, he's still gesturing. I picked that up a couple of laps. Look, here he goes again.
He's going into pits. Is he? Yes, he is. He's peeling off.
Okay. So he seemed to be waving his arm.
He seemed to still have the speed up, so I'm not quite sure why that would be. But
we've had no word from race control about a stop-go penalty or anything, so we're assuming that it's mechanical problems, which is disappointing for Tony Longhurst because he was going so well that he was leading the points in today's.
I'd take a punt on this being a stop-go penalty. That may be why he was gesturing to the officials as he's going past the track, saying, why, what am I being sprung for? We'll see.
Craig Lowndes, he's caught right up behind this pack.
That was a stop-go, I think, for Longhurst. He just came out of the pits. So he's been pinged for something.
Back on behind Chris Smurton, so a lot of work to do up. He won't be happy indeed.
Now, remember at the beginning of the race, we said Longhurst was squeezed over on the inside, who's running over against the white line. Well, they've said very, very clear instructions this weekend. Anyone who crosses that white line at turn 1 will be given a stop-go penalty, so that's what it was for. But Tony Longhurst has paid the price, and boy, that's really hurt him. He was running very, very competitively.
Right in behind this bunch here, you'll see him appear right there, coming there. The 2 Mobil 1 HRT cars, Craig Lowndes and Mark Scape, have come from 27th and 28th to 7th and 8th. This has been an extraordinary run from them. They've been carving them up. Now they're right up there, not too far off the top 5. We go back up the front. This is our race leader, Russell Ingall, sitting 2nd. It looked like his championship was over. Now have a look at this battle back here. Lowndes trying to weave his way through. He's got Tander now.
It's just amazing. Fastest man on the circuit at the moment, Craig Lowndes, 1:11.05. Our race leader's just on a 1:11.46. So really on the charge. Mark Scape going with him as they pick their way through the traffic.
I can't believe Tony Longhurst gets a stop-go for that, and there's other guys out there knocking people off, and they get away with it. So it's pretty disappointing, really.
The Bridgestone on-car camera, Scape up the inside of Tander now. Beautiful! Scape is gone! He's just overcooked it under brakes.
Geez, he came in a little bit too hot, Greg.
He was very hot coming in there, and Tander's been going in there very well all day, and Mark's tried to outbrake him, so locked up the rears around he went.
Well, you can't blame him for trying. They've done such a great job, he and his teammate Craig Lowndes, coming from the back of this field. He was up as high as 8th in that position there. He was going for 7th, and it didn't quite come off. Could be some
Still doing our sums on that one. Bargwanna closes in behind Russell Ingall. It's just sniffing around the tail of this Castrol VT Commodore, but Russell Ingall couldn't even believe the depression in the Castrol Perkins.
Oh, Russell.
After qualifying yesterday, he said, well, I don't know what I'm going to do from here. And it's just absolute fairy tale finish.
He's done it so many times before, though. I mean, he's an absolute pro at doing this, so congratulations to him.
Well, this is it. We're winding on down. Russell Ingall, the enforcer, he's back in action, and he's back in contention for the 1998 Shell V8 Supercar title, that's for sure. He takes out race 3 here today, and that is something special for Ingall. The Castrol team will just be delighted with that, and Bargwanna's excited too. A really good run for him, a steady run. He got away to a terrific start. And just Helsted, he's pretty happy.
Have you ever seen someone so happy about coming second?
Well, it certainly is going down to the wire. That grand final at Oran Park is just going to be fantastic as we have a look at the championship points now, because it's so close, from 34 points to 6 points, the difference now, and it's a real tight one. We go back, Larry Perkins is still hanging on to third. There's a tie for fourth between Scaife and Bow. Glenn Seaton put in a great day today. Jason Bright has slipped due to those unfortunate circumstances. Dick Johnson, Jason Bargwanna and Tony Longhurst, those last few positions.
In most team sports, you're either attacking or defending. And the man who's doing the defending today in this battle for the championship is Craig Lowndes. Congratulations on taking pole position. You're 6 points ahead of Russell Ingall, so I suppose you're in defence mode today.
Well, we are, Mark. It's obviously we've got to win this championship. Really, it's very important for myself and the team. And really, at the moment, obviously, I've got a lot of air between myself and Russell. But you know, Russell will be doing the attacking, and he has great starts. And I've got to get a good start and defend my position. And really, at the moment, I've just got to finish in front of him.
The man who's doing all the attacking today is Russell Ingall. You're 9th on the grid. Boy, you've got nothing to lose.
Well, I haven't, and I've had plenty of practice coming from sort of midfield onwards, and like I said, I've been in worse positions and come through up the front, and I can't see any reason why I can't do it now.
Well, I know at Darwin 2 weeks ago, after that first race, you thought your championship was over. I guess anything can happen.
It can. It just goes to that old proverb, you know, never give up. But look, I'd like to tell everyone out there, especially the people that are barracking for me, don't you worry. I'm going to be getting in there, and sparks will fly. I guarantee it.
Well, there's a mammoth grid. Let's have a look at it now. This is how they line up. Craig Lowndes, of course, starts from that #1 position. The first time he's been on pole here at Oran Park. Longhurst, a brilliant qualifying effort. Jason Bright and Mark Scaife, row 2.
Great job by Neil Crompton too in the second Ford Credit Falcon. He starts ahead of the boss, Glenn Seaton in the Ford Credit car. Mark Larkham out of 7, Garth Tander out of 8.
Russell Ingall way back in 9th. Got a bit of work to do there. John Faulkner, Jason Bargwanna 11th and Alan Jones 12th. The final round, there's 9 rounds down, just 1 to go. Who will it be who gets the jump? Craig Lowndes, if he can get away, which he does. He gets away to a terrific start. Pertec Ford driver Jason Wright, he didn't do too bad either. Longhurst has been swamped. Scaife's got the outside run.
Oh, look at Ingall. Now watch for turn 1 up the inside here. If everybody gets through this without Scaife, we'd be very simple.
They do. Brilliant work. Jason Wright's come up into 3rd spot. He holds his position.
Look at Ingall muscling on the inside of turn 1, right up beside the Ford Credit Falcon. He has to make positions very, very quickly if he's going to be in contention to challenge Lowndes in this one. And he really has made some ground. There he is, up behind the first of the Cummins Valvoline Commodores. But it's Craig Lowndes and Mark Scaife, the Holden Racing Team steamroller up front.
Well, congratulations to all of them. How smooth were they until then? John Bow just came in contact with the wall, got pushed wide a little bit there, but everything else has been terrific. It's been so smooth. Bright's got a battle on his hands already with Tony Longhurst. Longhurst has dropped back a couple of positions. Scaife was quick to get up there, but it's Craig Lowndes who leads the way. Looks like Seaton is back there in 5th position.
Yeah, well, the thing that Ingall has got to be very, very careful of is not to get in too much of a panic, in too much of a hurry to make other places. I know it's a tight circuit, but really, you know, he has to try and calm himself down a little bit.
Well, this will be interesting, guys. Have a look at this, because there was a fair bit of daylight behind Ingall not so long ago. Here's Crompton. He's arrived on the scene, so he could mix things up nicely. 111, Neil Crompton makes his return to the V8 Supercars after doing some runs in the GTP series, filling in for John Bow in the Ferrari, but he is very anxious and really looking forward to climbing on board the #1 Ford Credit machine with Glenn Seaton for the Enduros, both the Tickford 500 and the Australian 1000 Classic.
And he did great yesterday. He was on the pole position for a little while.
Yeah.
Sid Crone Proto onboard camera looking out the back of Russell Ingall's Castrol VT. Russell working very, very hard, but he's not making up positions. He's still sitting there in 7th position. He's made up 2 off the start, but he really has remained static. The times amongst these top 10 cars are so identical, it's very, very hard to make progress. And the Ford Credit Falcon, the 111 car of Neil Crompton, closing in. So you can see Ingles just hanging on. Not enough speed aboard the car, but they'll go away and they'll work very hard on it between heats 1 and 2. Try and make some adjustments to the chassis to try and maximise the car's performance for heat 2. Synchrone Proto onboard camera shows he's copying plenty of heat from Neil Crompton.
TV doesn't really show it, but this track, I mean, it's quite an undulating circuit here. There's quite a steep downhill section around. This is the far bottom part of the section. They come back up. They go through a very fast change of direction here and then down onto the main straight. Craig Lowndes, it's going to be a very special day already. That's the way it looks. We've got one more lap left to run. Yesterday he brought up Holden's 100th pole position. It was a very significant moment for Holden and for Lowndes because it was his very first pole position here at Oran Park, and he has never won a V8 Supercar race here. So he is going to do that in just 3/4 of a lap. So plenty of milestones for the 24-year-old Melburnian.
It's been a good year for Holden's too. Debut of the new VT Commodore, and Russell Ingles' victory at Hidden Valley was their 100th
win.
Round win, yeah. So they've had a tremendous run with this new VT Commodore. It's obviously got enormous potential for the future. Ford will be waiting with bated breath for the debut of its new AU Falcon early next year.
There's a huge crowd here, plenty of Ingle fans, plenty of Lowndes fans, and I'm sure there's plenty at home as well. But the Mobil 1 HRT gun has struck the opening blow. No doubt about that. Craig Lowndes is less than half a lap from home. Up through this change of direction I was telling you about, the dog leg, down this very steep hill. This is the final corner out of Recaro speed line. It's the run to home for Craig Lowndes, and he stretches the lead over Russell Ingall. He takes out race 1 here at Oran Park for an HRT 1-2. His teammate Mark Scaife in for a great second spot, and Jason Bright in the Pertec Ford ended up getting there for 3rd. We're getting ready for race 2. It should be an absolute ripper. Craig Lowndes will start from the number 1 position alongside his teammate Mark Scaife. Jason Bright held steady for 3rd ahead of Longhurst. Keep in mind, these are their finishing positions from race 1.
Seaton and Ingle alongside there. Mark Larkham, Jason Bargwanna out of 10. John Faulkner and Paul Romano out of 12.
We had 41 entries for this round. The revs rise. We get set. This is race 2 of 3. Could Lowndes wrap it up here? Away we go. Look at Russell Ingall's start. It was a pretty good one, but he's got a lot of work to do. The Valvoline cars dice it out, but it's Craig Lowndes who gets away to the best start.
Ingle said to me just before the start, watch me at the...
Oh,
Jason
there.
Bright.
He's taken out Ingle.
Oh, and Longhurst.
Oh, goodness me. 3 cars involved in that. Ingle, championship chaser, and he's just seen it go out the window. Will we see a safety car?
Boy,
well, if Russell can't get out of there, it is all over.
Oh.
Well, look at him.
High-speed contact. He's still got the engine running. He's trying to drive his way out, but that's a deep bunker there.
There's no chance there.
The whole idea of that is to catch a spinning car, and it catches them very effectively. Once you're in there, you are there.
Well, he got away to such a magnificent start, was coming through the pack, and Jason Bright was the one who went sideways. Here's the replay. Let's have a look at it. Watch Bright on the right-hand side of your screen in the blue car. Ingles come through Longhurst and Scaife.
Scaife come together with Scaife.
There's the contact there between Scaife and Jason Bright as they come down into the first turn.
Scaife had nowhere to go. He was getting squeezed.
So Bright's come across. He's caught Ingle, and then Tony Longhurst right on the outside there spins.
Well, they were both passengers, weren't they? Yeah. Longhurst and Russell Ingall.
Well, can you believe that? Let's have a look at it in the Shell Helix replay from inside Russell Ingall's car. There's the front of Bright's car. Ingle left with nowhere to go. He's spinning toward the sand trap. And Tony Longhurst right on the outside, defenceless to do anything.
Oh, Scaife played a major part in this. You watch, he had nowhere to go. Look, he touches Bright, or Bright touches him, or whatever.
Okay, we've got a red flag situation. They're stopping the race. Well,
wow.
This is a good situation for Russell Ingall. Can you believe it? If he'd been stuck in there, his championship was over. But obviously, Clark, of course, Tim Schenken has decided those cars are too dangerous sitting in that sand trap, and they're going to restart the race. Yeah, there's a few more gaps on the grid there too. Jason Bright leaves a big hole there for Russell Ingall to try and leap across to his left.
And you think he's not going to have a go?
Well, just look at the start he got the first time round.
Yeah, exactly.
He made a sensational start to Heat 2. He caught up in that tangle between Scaife and Bright, but he's back there.
It's going to be really interesting to see if Mark rides shotguns and probably to come over towards Craig on the inside there.
We get ready
for Russell.
Green at the back. We're going to have green at the front. Any tick of the clock now. Look at Russell Ingall. He's keen to go.
Oh, the clutch is gone. His clutch is gone.
Russell Ingall is in big trouble and a stall.
Clutch, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, he was signalling to the officials very early on there. He was having trouble getting their car.
Yeah, I think the clutch was just getting hot and starting to bite, and there was nothing he could do about it, and that's what he was saying.
So Lowndes takes him through the first corner. Russell Ingall is right at the back of the pack. There he is there. Larkham got away to a good start. So too did Garth Tanner as they come on through. Well, more and more, this just plays into the hands of Craig Lowndes, who leads his field down under the Dunlop Bridge for the first time of this reduced 15-lapper. Look at this, a good battle here between Longhurst and Glenn Seaton. It looks like Barguana's in there as well, so we've still got a good race on our hands.
Yeah, a lot of battle damage on one of the Ford Credit Falcons there coming under the bridge. Oh, and Russell Ingall continuing to charge up through the pack now. It's going to be interesting to see the way Tim Schenk and Clark, of course, determines that start.
Well, that was pretty obvious that the Russell wasn't pulling a punch there. He had his hand out the window and you could see the car creeping. He's got his hand out going, oh, it's creeping, I can't do anything about it.
Well, his fate in this championship now rests in the hand of the officials. We'll wait with bated breath and see if any action's going to be taken. Meanwhile, he's continuing his charge through the pack, chasing this man, Craig Lowndes, the dominant winner of Heat 1 and looking like he's going to do it again in Heat 2. He's got Mark Scaife and Tony Longhurst right behind him.
Here's a good battle. This is the battle for 7th, 8th and 9th. Mark Larkham in the Mitre 10 Ford. John Faulkner in the Better Electrical Fisher and Paykel Commodore. And we go back to Paul Romano, who sits in 9th position. He's just ahead of John Bowe. It's a close top 10. There is John Faulkner's Bridgestone profile. He's been around for quite some time now, 56 starts in the championship. And he's battling there with Mark Larkham. He had some bad luck. He's had some bad luck this year, actually. He's been involved in quite a few accidents that haven't been his fault. But he hasn't whinged. He's just soldiered on in the Better Electrical Commodore, and he's done a terrific job.
Battle for 7th position. Mark Larkham, John Faulkner and Paul Romano. Yeah, it was a remarkable effort. This car, after Hidden Valley, looked really, really bad. It was 2/3 its normal distance, or length, I should say. Really did cop a hammering in the back, and there was a lot of doubt whether they were going to get the car done in time. They just made it. So John has a big contingent of Better Electrical people here this weekend, putting on a good show for his sponsors, right up behind Mark Larkham. More than a couple of love taps there. Come on, get a move on. John Faulkner's on the charge. It's a great battle for 7th position. Great battles all through this top 10. The damage at Hidden Valley really knocked the team's finances around. Here's the battle, though. Russell Ingall at the bottom of your squeeze. He's in 11th position. The Konica Commodore, driven by Stephen Ellery. He's in 10th. Russell needs to get in front of that Konica car to keep his championship hopes alive.
Well, how much ground has Russell made up in the last lap? He's on fire. This is great stuff. Under brakes. Right up on Stephen Ellery. This is the back of John Bowe's Shell Helix Ford. Ingall is right there. He has an inside look. He's got Ellery, so he's there. Ingall is in 10th, and his championship hopes stay alive for the meantime. Tony Longhurst and Glenn Seaton, the battle continues. Have a look who's come up right on the back of these guys. It's Garth Tander. This is great. So Tander's got a real shot at getting through here. But Tony Longhurst seems his pace is slowed.
See, Tander got right out of shape coming over the dog leg there. Thought he was going to lose it. He managed to catch it. That was a pretty hairy moment. Pretty high-speed part of the circuit there. They've got 180 kilometres an hour coming over there. The car gets very light.
And not an awful lot of place to go if you muck it up.
Exactly.
Well, this is it. We're on our way home. Race 2 of 3. This is the battle at the moment for 4th, 5th and 6th as Garth Tander comes right up on Glenn Seaton now. Longhurst, Tony Longhurst is at the front of this battle, and on our computer timing monitor, the positions have stayed the same further back in the pack in terms of Larkham staying in 7th, Romano 8th, and Russell Ingall is still in 9th position, but his championship is still alive. And have a look at this battle. Tander's gone around the outside. That'll be the long way through that part of the track. Seaton is pressuring all the time, trying to get through on Tony Longhurst.
Look at Tony trying to drive the conservative line down the inside of the circuit, not giving Glenn Seaton even a chance, even a sniff, getting alongside him. It's going to be pretty tough to hold him out, though. Seaton's really on a charge, and he's got Tander breathing down his neck.
Well, he's trying to just get it home, isn't he, Tony Longhurst? Half a lap left to run, not even that. They're on the back part of the circuit. This is it. The dog leg is our race leader. Brings it into the main straight. Craig Lowndes makes it 2 starts, 2 wins today at Oran Park. Things are looking good for the Mobil 1 HRT outfit. There's his wife, Natalie. She is wrapped in that one, and why shouldn't she be? Her husband's done a terrific job. We have a look at the grid, and of course these are the finishing positions from race 2. It's Lowndes and Scaife again, Barguana and Longhurst on row 2.
Glenn Seaton moving up the order. Garth Tander in there too. Mark Larkham in the Mitre 10 Falcon and Paul Romano.
Back to Russell Ingall in 9th. He's got some work to do, I tell you. John Bow, Steve Ellery. A good result for Stephen there, just ahead of, I think it was Mazira. Well, this is the situation. Craig Lowndes must finish worse than 18th and Ingall must win. Green at the back. We're getting ready for Green at the front. Set. This is the final race in the 98 Shell Series. Ready for a start. Away we go. Can Lowndes make it 3 from 3? Have a look at Bargwanna. He gets away to a great start. Ingall's forcing his way through on the inside. Look to the right-hand side of your screen. There's Russell Ingall. But it's the two Mobil 1 HRT cars that hit the corner first. It's Lowndes, followed by Scaife. Through goes Bargwanna and Longhurst the outside.
Just showing the advantage of starting off the front row, isn't it? They were able to squeeze together. No one had an opportunity to pass in that first few hundred metres off the start line. So it's a Holden Racing team 1-2 once again as they head down under the bridge to Shell Corner.
Yeah, it's going to be close there. Great start from Bargwanna. Look, Longhurst having it. Oh, dear me.
Faulkner.
Problem there.
Yeah, have a look at this. Longhurst on the inside of Bargwanna. Ingall has got the outside run there. He's going to get squeezed because Romano's got the inside line, the better line through there. Up and over the Dunlop Bridge they go. This is very fast and frantic. They settle themselves down now, though. 1, 2, 3. Ingall's in about 6th or 7th at the moment.
Just expect Ingall to throw everything out the window here. This is the last heat. He was even quoted before the meeting as saying, well, it's either win or crash, so he's going to be throwing caution to the wind here. He's got a few cars ahead of him. Bit of damage there to Larry Perkins, Castrol Commodore.
Well, we've said it about 3 times. He's got nothing to lose. He definitely hasn't now. I mean, it's an uphill struggle. He has to win the race, and Craig Lowndes doesn't have to finish in.
He's got to finish worse than 18.
Yeah. I think it's all over Red Rover, isn't it? But, so we should get some fun and games out of Russell.
Well, he's got to get past Seaton here. He's got to do it quick, and he's got to start to make his moves forward and hope for some misfortune to Lowndes. But I tell you what, Lowndes has looked nothing but rock solid today, that's for sure.
Right, the old sun getting low now. Difficult for the drivers out of that left-hander after the start-finish straight.
This is the shot from the back of John Bow's car. Coming onto the main straight, the Mitre 10 forward of Mark Larkham, who's been running pretty steady today, in and out of the top 10. A good run by Larkham and a good warm-up with the Enduros coming up, of course. He finished 3rd, teamed up with Andrew Badicki last year in the Primus 1000 Classic, and this year he's teaming up with Brad Jones. It'll be an interesting combination. Should be a very successful one.
Yeah, first time I've seen Bradley in a Ford at Mount Panorama. And this is the battle for 10th position continuing between John Bow and Mark Larkham. Look behind there, Neil Crompton's continuing his surge toward the front. Started off the back of the grid, he's now up to challenging for 11th position.
Glenn Seaton's managed to squeeze his way past Tony Longhurst, so too has Paul Romano. Have a look at this bunch here. This is good stuff. Crompton at the back of this pack. Larkham right on Bow's hammer. Just in front is Larry Perkins and Garth Tander sitting in 8th spot. There they go through now. Alan Jones has just come out of the pits by the looks of things, because Crompton overtook AJ not that long ago. So
the order now, Lowndes, Scaife maintaining that 1 second, half a second cushion behind his teammate Bargwanna in 3rd, Seaton in 4th, Romano 5th, Longhurst hanging on in 6th with Ingall just behind him, Tander, Perkins, and this is the battle for 10th between Bow, Mark Larkham and Neil Crompton in the second of the Ford Credit Falcons.
Well, if you're a Ford fan, this is heaven here. You got 3 of them in a row. Bow, Larkham, Crompton.
Except at the wrong end of the field.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say.
No, they prefer him at the front, though.
Well, a lot of expectation when the new AU Ford comes on stream next year. The car's going to get its public launch in September. Hoping to see one of the cars currently under construction by the race teams make a few demonstration laps at the Australian 1000 Classic at Mount Panorama in November. And then Ford comes on full stream with the new car next year. Should be a beauty.
Now, we've been talking lots about Neil Crompton making his way from the back of the field up in just outside the top 10, and he makes a move on Mark Larkham. Can't quite do it that time. Another Ford driver who's been going terrific, or 2 of them in fact, Stephen Johnson and Jason Bright. They have come from right at the back of the pack into 15th and 16th position respectively. Now Crompton's got a battle on his hands here. Faulkner is all over the back of him.
And this man, Russell Ingall, has really struggled all day to maintain the pace.
Garth Tander's giving him a nice working over too for that 7th spot. Russell probably at this stage today is saying, go away, leave me alone. I've had a tough enough day as it is, but he's been pretty philosophical. I was talking to him before the meeting, and he said, look, if I don't win it this year, I'm going to win it. I'm going to get it eventually. So
well, it gets so close, that's the thing.
Up the inside, a real challenge here for Tander. Going to look down the inside. He's got him this time. Contact too. And let's see if he...
Settle
down, boys.
Oh, you don't want to fiddle with Russell. Russell wouldn't be in a great great mood at the moment.
Oh, look at the amount of biffo going on here. Elbow to elbow. Russell is not going to give in. He's not going to get the short back and sides from this youngster.
Well, maybe he has this time round. One more lap to go. We're on our way home. So maybe Russell's going to finish it with some fireworks. Garth Tander's going to have to watch out. We're on our way home. Gee, Tander's driven very forcefully today. Driven sensibly, but he has really shown us what he can do in a V8 Supercar. And Russell's been pushed back to 8th position. Garth Tander taking that spot off him now. I think there's enough of a gap there for Tander to get home comfortably. There's Glenn Seaton on the infield. Wow, that's a disappointing end of the day because he was going so well. He was up in the top 3. So Barguana now takes 3rd. Romano has got 4th. There has been a tremendous crowd here today, and they've seen this guy just completely dominate. Pole position, 3 starts, 3 wins. The kid is the champ. Craig Lowndes comes across the line. There's the team and his wife, Natalie, and he thoroughly deserves it. Well done. It did come down to the wire at the start of the day, but by the end of the day, he did it comfortably. There's his teammate, Mark Scaife, congratulating him. Well done, Craig Lowndes. A tremendous win. And it didn't go all his way this year. He hasn't led the championship the whole way. He had to fight back. Russell Ingall made him work extremely hard for it, and he's done it. Craig Lowndes, he's only raced in the Shell V8 Supercar Championship 2 years, and in both years, he has been the champion. What an achievement.
Right, the big moment. I call on Ross Brody from Shell, sponsor of this great series, to make the presentation to not only our overall winner today, but the 1998 Shell Australian Touring Car Champion, Craig Lowndes. What can we say? You've done it again. 2 out of 3 years. That's a pretty outstanding effort, and your winning ratio, superb.
Thanks, Mark. I guess I couldn't do it without the guys. I'd like to thank them all. It's just, it's been a hard year, especially, I guess, after last year, myself being overseas last year. But I'd like to thank Robbie Starr, Matty Crawford and Pete Jr. especially, and the guys who work all year on my car, and I'd like to thank Mobile, Holden and Bridgestone. Obviously, the tyre package today is obviously fantastic with our car, and also like to thank my wife for putting up with me for all year.
Congratulations, Craig Lowndes, and give him a big cheer, Sydney. 1998 Shell Australian Touring Car Champion.
Well, the celebrations have started already, and why shouldn't they? Just a fantastic effort. Craig Lowndes is raced in the V8 Supercar Series for 2 years and 2 wins. Well done. Here's the points for the final time. Russell Ingall in 2nd, Scaife, Perkins, Bow rounding out the 5. Glenn Seaton unfortunate with that result today. Barguana worked his way up to 7th. That's great. Tony Longhurst, Jason Bright and Dick Johnson rounding out the top 10.